Cool Cat Renee, how are you? Man, you are the first one today, my friend. You won't believe it. I've been trying to play with this software over here. Man, I was going to do something different. I tried to go live on TikTok. The audio never came out. It showed me here that the audio was working and nada, senor, nada. So, stressing out with technical difficulties over here. Um, I got some interesting news that we're going to share with our friends today. My friend, salud. Stay thirsty. We invading Venezuela. Yeah, I think we might. We might be invading Venezuela. But first, I want to give you guys an update. I came across this new channel, and there is a person that's going to give us some information about Congress approving historical immigration bill in 2025 reform. I'm not sure if we did buy TikTok already, but I mean I have been giving it a shot. It looks like it's gonna be one of those things to where like I'm just gonna have to do a live on my phone, and I think yeah, I don't know. It's I'm trying to give you guys something to videos to so that you guys can see where I'm getting information from. But man, this guys in YouTube, they're not. I'm not gonna blame YouTube, but that's just the way it seems like with the software and even people that have like millions of subscribers. They're getting about 10% of the traffic going through. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It might get a little bit loud today. I am not going outside, and there's a lot of people here in the house. So kids will be running around. If you guys hear that, apologize about that. But how are you guys doing? How you been, Cool Cat? Does this guy not realize he's gay? I am very gay, my friend. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate it. Very gay o time, my friend. Very gay o time. Let's see. Coben says, Dennis, what up? What's up? Oh man, you know what? I got some new information about immigration. Hey, look at that. That kind of rhymed a little bit. If I was a good, smart freestyle rapper, I would have made some more words out of that. But I'm going to wait to see if my sister Trinity gets online before we actually start showing this video. I am watching for televisions. Televisions are falling off the sky for you, huh? Man, you guys don't see it, but I'm actually pissed off today. So, oh man, very very frustrated. I wanted to show you guys some cool stuff, and the software never kicked up. All these audio problems. I did all my settings. I double checked. My man, what's up? Man, I have some videos here to share with my patriots in here. I hope you guys appreciate it. You probably seen this already. So Coben is already waiting with the popcorn. Right on. I love it. Only 60 days left in 2025. No change is going to happen. Well, as crazy as that sounds, that's probably right. But we're hopeful that things are going to change. Omar, what drink should I get? Coffee. Oh, actually, it's actually a lot later for you. It's already 9:30 for you, I think. So, you can still drink a little bit of some hot tea, little hot tea, unless it's your weekend day off, and then you can actually get some grape soda. That's horrible. Casey, sad MAGA. Thank you, Casey. Well, I hope that you can make us happy today. Lisa Bailey in the house. Lisa, where you been hiding, huh? Where have you been hiding? We've been missing you around here. I know people can't make it every day. Uh, See, look at that. Coleman says coffee, tea, some honey, and some ice water. Of course, don't forget the popcorn. You got to get the popcorn. Oh, Linda says orange juice. There you go. I like it. Go Dodgers. Oh, man. That's right. Cool Cat Renee is over there rooting for the Dodgers. That's right. Yeah, they're doing good. Why not? Let's go. Let's go. We'll see if my sister Trinity gets on, guys. We can't do the show without Trinity in the house. Well, I hope you guys like the information that I got for you guys. Israel Fowler, welcome. Welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show. I appreciate you guys stopping by today. I got some videos that you don't want to miss. Let's hope that what this video shows, it's actually good news for us. All right. Now this guy has his new channel. He's getting lots and thousands of subscribers. Lots of thousands of subscribers. He just started this channel. But the information that he got is a juicy. Rush Babe, how are you? I know you say hello to Omar first, but that's all right. I didn't notice. No, Trinity. I'm waiting for Trinity to pop in here so we can share these videos together. Guys, don't forget while we're waiting for our sister to show up, hit the thumbs up, will you? Let's get some more people in here. Hopefully we get a lot of Democrats and illegal immigrants on here so they can watch these videos. It's going to be very educative. First video is it's only about 10 minutes. We're going to see. We're going to see. So I haven't truly actually listened to this. Can 0047 live. Let's go. We got some good patrons in here today. Let's see if it's Ron and Ozzy show up. Man, I started so late today. I apologize, guys. I was telling these guys over here, Ken and Rush, that I was trying to do this multi-stream, and I finally got going. I was gonna do a live stream on TikTok first, and then I was gonna jump in here and do a YouTube live. And because I can't, for some reason, it doesn't want to give me my stream key to put it in the software. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'll play with it more tomorrow and see what we can do. Man, no war with Venezuela, just on the drug shipments. That is correct. And I like that you said that, bro, because one of the things that I notice about people is if we go to any country to try to help the good people of those countries, we are looking like the bad guys that are coming over there to disrupt what's supposed to be this innocent countries. But we're actually there to protect people and to defend people. Now, do we get a benefit from doing that? Of course. There should be, because otherwise we can't continue to support countries. One of the things that people mention a lot is that, we're just going to Venezuela for the oil. Oh, we're just going to Ukraine for the minerals. Oh, we're just going to Africa for the minerals. Well, that's not why we go there. It's not an easy task. Now, Trump has been doing it with minimal, military action, but nonetheless, there's a lot of diplomacy that needs to be happening. So, good evening, Carrie. We'll see you from Colorado. I think you're about an hour difference from me, I think. Here on the West Coast. Yeah, so it's not that we're going to war against Venezuela. We're going to war against the dictator that is terrorizing Venezuelans. And you might see that there's a lot of followers in there, mainly because they're afraid of him. And, there's a lot of people trying to turn on him. Information is being given out. CIA is getting close on them. So, yeah. No, absolutely. What I find interesting is here, we have two choices, right? So we have two choices. And the first choice is we accept Nicolas Maduro's offer to take $1 trillion from Nicolas Maduro, from Venezuela, and access to the oil and rare earth minerals. Or we actually go and help the legitimate president of that country and actually free Venezuela. They are, hey, Colin, I see you. Let me see what you got there. Let me read your comment here. Sorry about that. Hydro, this guy go to college? Yeah, but not for what you think. Just high school, a solid graduation from high school. Venezuela is definitely going to reduce their oil exports and secure their natural resources. American business is already signing contracts for rights over them as we speak. Fantastic. Good news. There are worse places in the world if it's a moral argument. Yeah, I find that interesting that people call it a change of regime. This is the wording from MSN, CNN, and all these dumbass broadcasters. But how is that a change of regime when the person that we are trying to help to be the president in Venezuela is the Nobel Peace Prize winner? How is she a regime? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Um, I have a master's in engineering. Well, that's great. If I need some help with engineering, we know who to contact. But we are going to talk about some world views, some politics, and maybe some religious points of views. Now, a little disclaimer: this may not be suited for people that can't handle the truth. All right, let's see what else we got. Ken says, Free Venezuela. Gonzalo Rodriguez wants to know, he's obsessed with Epstein. Forgive him, guys. Forgive him. Some people just can't get over the fact that Epstein Island is closed for business. No more Epstein Island, Gonzalo. Stop getting too excited with that. Yeah, yeah, nice, Hydro. You're one of the few, says Rush. I agree. Yeah. I don't know. We can't really tell them. How many countries have you traveled to, Dennis? That's very sad. Good question. Good question. I have been to, well, I'm from Honduras, just so you know. I've been to El Salvador. I've been through Mexico. And I've only been to Hawaii's airport and American Samoa. That's the only countries that I've traveled to. And then here in the States, I've gone through obviously Oregon, California, Utah, um, Ohio, Idaho, the Jazz, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Alabama, North and South Carolina. That's it. That's all the places I've been to. But if I could travel to more countries, we'll definitely do. When the chance comes up, I will definitely take you up on that dream, my friend. It's nice. Cray says, Dennis, I think you have a master's in patriotism. Oh, thank you, Cray. I love that. I appreciate that. What was Honduras like? You said it was rough. Why did you work so hard to come here? I didn't work hard to get here. I didn't want to come to the United States of America. My mother brought me here when I was 13 years old. I always thought that I was going to go back to Honduras. And, when we came here because my sister married one of her, I guess they met in a mission, and she was studying bilingual secretary. I don't know what the hell the position's called. They fell in love, came to the States, got married, and after a few years, they requested for my mother to come. She waited 5 years to get a green card, and then after she got a green card, she flew back down for me and my sister, and that's when she came to get us. And I didn't want to leave. I was poor. Let's not get this twisted here. I was very poor. I did suffer a lot, in my childhood because of my older brother. He just hated me, I guess. They say I was my father's favorite, so he was pretty jealous. Now, we made amends, as adults. We talked. I love my brothers. The stories that I say about my suffering, they're just scars that I won't forget, but they don't hurt. You know what I mean? So I love my brother dearly. No harm feelings. But the stories are still there, and that's why I say them freely, because I have no anger, no resentment towards him. It's just stories that I can share with people. But with that being said, I always believe what my mother taught me, and that was that we don't come to this country illegally, that we have to do it the right way, even if it means that you have to wait a long time, or if that means that you will never be able to come to the United States of America. So, that's how kind of how it goes. So, but to me, I'm gonna say this: there's crime everywhere, just like there is here in the states. You can live the same that you can live here in the United States. People that struggle paycheck to paycheck in Honduras, they think that you're going to come to the United States and then live paycheck to paycheck. Uh, they don't know that. They think that they're going to come in here and grab money off the trees. you know, they think they're going to be raking in the dough as they walk in. But when they do it the wrong way, when they do it illegally, they just cause problems for the country that they are illegally traveling to, and then also for the people in those countries, because illegal immigration does affect the economy. It causes inflation to rise very fast, more than they will normally do with just citizens reproducing in that specific country. If you don't believe me, ask the British. They don't have enough housing. We are running out of housing already, but they don't have enough housing up in Europe, for all these illegal immigrants. And the way that they get away with stuff is they come in, they're just saying, "Whoa, this is a Christian country. You're supposed to welcome the foreigner. You're supposed to give us this and give us that." And it's like, no, no, that's not how it goes. Yeah, of course we're going to welcome you. Of course you need a glass of water. Of course we're going to use some water. Of course we're going to be hospitable. Of course we're going to be a good host. But not if you're in here illegally. We are not here to harbor criminals. With that being said, the videos that we're going to watch today are going to speak about that a little bit. There is rules to being in this country, and there is rules to have the privilege of holding green cards, citizenships. There is a major announcement that have been given on immigration, and that is exactly what we're going to watch a video on. And then we have a couple of more videos that will go with that. Jaime says Trump treason. When did you take the Citizen Pledge of Allegiance? It was back in 2017, I think. 17? Yeah, I think 2017, I think. So very recent, not even a decade yet. And it was President Donald Trump's video who welcomed me to become America's citizen. Fantastic. It was just meant to be. It was meant to be. Let's see. Hydro says, Dennis, how many Muslims do you know? You won't believe me, but I know hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. So it's just like in any other religion. I know a lot of them to be very religious, and they try to stick to the rules. I know many of them that they don't practice what they preach, just like sometimes Christians, like maybe myself. You may have some type of view of what a Christian is like. I have a different view what a Christian is like. So by nature, I am a Christ follower, but I am not Christ. And I do have my own attitude. So it's the same thing with any religion. The difference between Muslims, and if I can say this, right, it's that Muslim is a religion that was created by a government about 5 to 600 years after Christ, to where the Bible is the gospel of the good news, and the books of Paul and John. These are all witnesses of Christ. Like they saw him in the flesh and in spirit, everything. They saw the miracles. And so we follow the Bible, that it has been, inspired by God, written by man, but is very specific and very precious to us because these are witnesses, not just somebody made up a story 600 years later. That's why we believe that Christianity, according to the Bible, is the only one true religion. But it's not just about being religious. We need to learn to have that relationship with Christ. Without him, we can't have vision. We can't have breaks on immoral thoughts or immoral things to do. You won't be able to stay faithful in your marriage. You won't be able to wait until you get married. You won't be able to make all these moral decisions because you wouldn't have Christ in your heart. So always, pray to have a relationship with Christ instead of being a religious person. A religious person can dress up in a suit or the little garments and, wear all the tassels and all the stuff that don't want to mess up the United States of America map right there. And they go to church every day, but there's nothing that happens in their heart and their soul. That means their mind. If you guys didn't know what the soul is. All right, well, we have given enough time in here. Let's see, Hydro. Dennis, who do you think wants the illegal immigrants? The Democrats, of course, poor people, or the rich business owners who want to hire cheap labor? I think it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both, but hey, Sixto, I see you, brother. If I if the government hasn't proven it in court and nobody has been indicted or has gone to jail, even if it's not me, anybody claiming anything that we know or that we share with people is really just an opinion per se. Because even though I believe what I say, because nothing happens in the court, because they're not being, put in jail, we'll take it with a grain of salt, right? But anything that I tell you, do some research and find out what's going on. Now, if you've been to my channel a lot, you know that I talk a lot about illegal immigration, and I've shown videos from Mexico and what their struggle they're going through right now. And let's remember that Mexico were supporting all the illegal immigrants coming to the United States of America. You know why? It's easy to sacrifice somebody else's money. It's easy to sacrifice somebody else's people. But when the problems come to you, then you get desperate, and that's when you learn your lesson. And I think Mexico is learning that lesson right now. Let me see. All right, what we got here? Hola, mi hermano. Sixto. Un abrazo, brother. Un abrazo. As a Christian, we are not required to let all people in. That is correct, Lisa. Lactose. Oh man, I hate that word. Cause good news though. I did buy some gas medicine, so lactose is not gonna mess with me again. Let's see. How much did you spend on groceries last? Last time I went to the groceries for about a couple of weeks' supplies was about $400. But, that's buying some other items as well. So I think when I look at the pricing of the stuff that I grab, because I shop at Costco mostly, the prices are pretty stable. They're pretty much what I'm used to seeing at the store. What I will tell you is this, though. Every time, I notice this, every time that President Donald Trump does something that helps the economy, I notice that the local government just somehow finds a way to raise taxes on the people. And, the last time I followed the taxes here in Washington, I given up on that. When I campaigned for governor here, I'm going to go and get into detail with that. But I'm just done talking about what the corruption that we have in government. A lot of people are actually being caught with fraud in the government. And it's not just giving help to illegal immigrants. It's other things. NGOs is the biggest money laundering business that they have, not just here in Washington, but throughout the whole United States of America. So when you see people, when they do census for people in every state, of course they want to hopefully get these illegals to vote, to maintain power. But I think that they use the quantity of people for those particular states so that they can get more funds to give to the American people. And what they do is they just keep encouraging illegal immigration to happen until they can't take it no more. But by then it's too late. Right now, we're still working on deporting all illegal immigrants. Now, I do feel bad for those that have been waiting for many years to acquire papers, but we're not going to blame President Trump. We're not going to blame the administration. We're not going to blame ICE. We're going to blame the 21 million illegal immigrants that came to this country, which, by the way, I heard it was 50, but I'm not going to go that far. There has been some people out there that have been confirming, they say, but who knows? I will tell you this, 42 million Americans, I found out that that's not accurate. And I heard that it was more than half for illegal immigrants. That's just speculation. I'm not going to confirm that is true because nothing has happened in the courts yet. So again, take it with a grain of salt. We are. Let me see. I want you guys to really tell me what you think about this video that I'm going to show you here. Your mother says, Lisa, you know everything of Yeshua. We call him Jesus Christ over here. Craig, Paul saw Jesus after the resurrection. Yes, 100%. Let's see. Oh, because I did say flesh and in spirit. Remember I said that. Let's see. Colin, Christianity as we know it was written by the Council of Nicaea. The Roman government, well, yeah, kind of, took over what Christianity tried to teach. A lot of governments have used religion to oppress people, but the truth still stays the truth. And that's why we always say the truth shall set you free. All right, well, dirty money's in the house. We got dirty money. Let me see if I can text sister, let her know we're on. Because I am going to start this video. Trinity, help. Let's see if she joins. All right, so for you guys that are here, my man says MAGA, baby. We can't, yeah, that's right. We're not going to give up, guys. We love you guys, even though you hate us, even though you don't agree with us. I want to tell you, by the end of our struggle, you guys will see that we were fighting the right fight. America is great right now, but it needs to be greater. We need to be free, completely free. And I will just point out that with the government shutdown, I learned to realize that Democrats are useless. They're just a waste of money. They don't do shit, nothing. They don't let you work, and they don't work themselves. They're obstacles. They're just like diving in the ocean with an anchor on your back. I said we get rid of these people that don't want to work. Let's keep those 5 Democrats that are actually voting so that the government opens up, and let's get rid of everybody else. They should all be fired. Useless people. They don't support our American people. They don't support the president. They deny every accomplishment that he has got. It doesn't matter how many times we have it in writing, how much video we watch, how many presidents, prime ministers come over here and say that. It doesn't matter how much the Peace Nobel Prize winner has been saying it. They don't want to listen. They're just garbage. Get rid of these suckers. Just fire them, all of them. Lisa says, Dennis, school your audience that the Bible is not against borders. No, absolutely not. I believe that Jesus says that if you go into a place where you're not welcome, to turn away from that place. It also, the Bible says that we are supposed to respect the law of the land. Give to Caesar what's Caesar's and to God's what's God's. If you believe in God, like if you're going to use the excuse of God or the Bible, I want you to know something. Don't be a hypocrite. If you believe God is so great, you stay in your country. If you believe God is so great, but I know you don't believe in God, and that's why you break the law. That's why you commit crimes. We are not to commit crimes. We are not to be envious of our brother's richness. We are not to covet our brother's wives. That is biblical. And people do that in this country so much. Tax the rich! Tax the rich! They're already being taxed like a mofo. And so what if they get tax cuts? They employ thousands and thousands, millions of Americans get employed by rich people. So let them have it. Let them have it. Let's see what else we got. Let me see. Man says, I also use U.S. currency as my food stamp. Same here. And when I don't have it, well, I just don't go and get what I want. I'll have to wait until I have some. Somebody asked me if I apply for benefits, and I said no. And I said, but even if I was going to try to apply, the government shut down. So I'm glad we're not depending on the government. Is calling a president orange racist or just being stupid? I think it's the latter. I don't think that's racist. It's okay. It's all right. He is orange, man. This is my point. If it's a fact, it's not racist. Okay? President Trump is very orangey, my friend, and he likes it. So we'll let him have it. All right, guys. Trinity must be very busy, so we're gonna go ahead and start watching this video, and let's see what you guys think about it. Let me make sure that I got audio here for it. Hopefully it's good. You guys let me know if you can hear anything, okay?
Congress has officially passed one of the most comprehensive immigration reform packages in modern U.S. history, a measure that experts are calling the most significant change to immigration law in decades. The bill, which received rare bipartisan approval, introduces sweeping adjustments that redefine how the federal government classifies, screens, and enforces immigration laws across the nation. Welcome to USA State. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share this update so you never miss critical national news from Washington, the states, and the agencies shaping America's immigration future. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have taken what many believe to be an impossible step, bridging political divides to produce a broad immigration reform framework. Supporters call it balanced and necessary, while critics warn it could transform how millions of lawful immigrants, workers, and students experience life in the United States. At the center of the legislation is a complete reclassification of all non-citizens. For the first time, the law unifies temporary visa holders, permanent residents, and long-term green card holders under one enforcement category. In practice, this means that legal distinctions, once considered protective, may no longer guarantee security from immigration action. For millions of green card holders, this represents a fundamental shift. Under previous rules, lawful permanent residents could generally expect stability unless they faced serious criminal convictions. That assumption no longer holds. The new legislation introduces expanded deportation standards tied directly to public safety offenses, including driving under the influence. Under the new federal standard, a single DUI incident, even one treated as a misdemeanor under state law, can serve as grounds for deportation. Legal experts explain that this measure reflects the Trump administration's longstanding emphasis on public safety accountability, classifying DUI behavior as incompatible with lawful residence privileges. The most debated provision extends enforcement authority even further. The law now allows removal proceedings to begin without a formal conviction. Legal analysts note that even an admission of conduct meeting the definition of a DUI could, under certain conditions, lead to immigration action. Congressional leaders defending the measure describe it as a firm but fair safeguard designed to protect American communities. They cite federal data showing that alcohol-related driving incidents claim thousands of lives annually, arguing that higher accountability standards are consistent with the responsibilities of lawful residents. However, immigration advocacy organizations express concern that the expanded authority may lead to inconsistent enforcement or deter individuals from reporting incidents to authorities. They caution that even minor infractions could now carry life-altering consequences for families who have otherwise complied with every aspect of U.S. law. Two key pillars define this reform package. The first is the expanded grounds of inadmissibility. Under the new framework, any individual who has a DUI conviction or who admits to conduct meeting that threshold will be deemed inadmissible to the United States.
I just want to point out that everything that he's saying right now, it's supposed to be something new, but it isn't. That was before the law, and somebody changed it. And people have been protected from criminal activities, especially illegal immigrants. And that's why I like what I'm hearing, because that is exactly what it used to be a couple of decades ago. And I don't know when that changed. To be honest, this is new. That is something new. I knew that this is how it was. You step out of line, you lose your green card. That's how that works. No, not even a misdemeanor. You got to be spotless. Otherwise, you don't qualify to become an American citizen. I know the bar is very high because a lot of Americans don't even love this country, but we do. And the people that we want to become Americans in this country have to love this country more than the people that were born here. And that's how we're going to get great patriots for the future and the future generations to come.
This impacts both those seeking entry and individuals already in the country, applying for renewal adjustment, or citizenship. Immigration attorneys confirm that even those who serve no jail time may be affected, as the standard now classifies DUI behavior as a serious moral and legal violation. The second pillar involves tighter deportation standards. Regardless of how individual states categorize DIO offenses, federal immigration law will now supersede state definitions. A misdemeanor at the state level can still qualify as a deportable offense under federal rules. The implications reach across every visa category, from employment-based petitions to family-sponsored immigration. For years, many immigrants viewed permanent residency as a final stage of security. This legislation redefines that assumption. Green cards are now described by federal authorities as conditional privileges that can be revoked upon violation of public safety standards. The reform also modifies the definition of good moral character, a long-standing requirement for U.S. naturalization. Under the new criteria, a single DUI conviction automatically disqualifies an applicant from obtaining citizenship.
Bye-bye.
Legal experts say this codifies an interpretation previously applied in parts of the immigration system, but now makes it universal.
There you go.
Consider a common scenario cited by attorneys. A permanent resident who has lived in the U.S. for over a decade, paid taxes, raised a family, and maintained steady employment. Under the old legal structure, a single DUI incident would have been managed as a personal or legal issue without necessarily affecting immigration status. Under the new rules, that same offense could result in deportation or permanent ineligibility for citizenship. Immigration lawyers across multiple states are now advising clients to seek legal counsel before renewing status or filing naturalization applications if any prior DUI history exists. They warned that the reform allows for retroactive review, meaning older cases could be reconsidered under the updated standard.
Oh, yeah.
The Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services are expected to release additional operational guidance in the coming weeks to ensure consistent nationwide enforcement.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
I agree, man. Nothing new at all, but it hasn't been universal. It has been given, the states have been given some sort of authority, or they have been getting away with some sort of authority, but no more. Keep listening.
Individuals and families remain uncertain about how past incidents may be evaluated. Congressional supporters argue that the measure will restore public trust in the immigration system. They emphasize that law-abiding residents have nothing to fear, and that the reforms simply align immigration law with public safety expectations. Opponents, however, maintain that the lack of proportionality could make the system overly punitive. They point out that state laws already address driving offenses, and adding federal immigration penalties creates overlapping consequences that may disproportionately affect certain communities.
Now, for some of you that are not listening, if you're a green card holder and you have a DUI, misdemeanors, etc., you don't qualify to be a citizen, meaning you don't vote. You still get the privileges of the citizen, but you don't have all the rights. Does that make sense? Only American citizens have every single right from the Constitution. Residents don't have the right to vote. Migrants have even less rights than the residents and American citizens. People don't understand what that means, but that is what it means. Is our Constitution, as I will say it and I will never stop saying it, is for the American people and for residents. Migrants do not imply to be in the Constitution.
The Trump administration has described the reform as a cornerstone achievement in its national immigration agenda. Officials highlight its dual-purpose strengthening public safety while streamlining administrative processing for compliant applicants. Within the same legislative framework, Congress has also approved modernization measures aimed at improving USCIS efficiency. The law allocates funding for digital case management, faster adjudication of high-demand employment visa categories, and the expansion of online filing systems. These provisions...
Man, you know that used to be, that was mandatory for any employer to hire somebody. It was mandatory for them to run the social security and match their names and everything on that name. But they stopped doing that. I don't know when, but they stopped doing that. But I remember that you used to have to run a social security in order to hire somebody. Yep.
Provisions are designed to reduce long processing times that have frustrated
Thank you,
applicants
Ken.
and employers alike. Yet, despite these positive administrative steps, many advocacy groups say the enforcement provisions overshadow the progress. They urge federal agencies to apply discretion, differentiate between serious criminal behavior and isolated incidents, and ensure that humanitarian considerations are not overlooked. Federal immigration offices abroad, including consulates and the National Visa Center, are already preparing to implement stricter background checks and verification procedures. Analysts expect this to temporarily slow visa issuance, particularly for categories requiring in-person interviews or extensive documentation. Across immigrant communities, the impact is immediate. Green card holders are delaying travel plans, fearing that overseas trips could trigger re-entry complications.
Yep.
Applicants awaiting renewal or adjustment of status are seeking legal reviews of their records to ensure compliance with the new rules. International students and professional workers under temporary visas are being advised to maintain strict adherence to all state and federal laws to avoid potential complications. The emotional and social impact is substantial.
Yep.
Community organizations report a surge in inquiries, legal consultations, and requests for clarification. Many families are focused on understanding the new risks and ensuring that their loved ones remain in good standing.
Yeah, and I want to point out, guys, that one of the things that we are taught, and not everybody, but I guess the people that are trying to do things the right way, we are taught not to come to this country to be a leech. Just like my brother Ken in here is talking about a video that I made. We are here. The people that are qualified to come here with a visa are people that are going to do something for this country. You see, we don't want people to come over here and just mooch off the government. The government is not supposed to be using taxpayers' money for illegal immigrants. Our money is not supposed to be for foreigners. It's supposed to be for Americans. And we have millions of illegal immigrants. And again, it's not Mexicans. Illegal immigrants can be from Canada, China, Europe, Middle Eastern, etc. It doesn't have to be Hispanics only, okay? But there is millions and millions, and that is a lot of money going out there. Probably about 5 to 10% of those millions are actually legit workers that want a better life. And maybe they love this country. But it's very hard to tell who loves this country. Like, I see some people in my chat that comes in here once in a while, the hater fans that I like. I miss these guys when they don't come in here, to be honest. I like when they come over here and talking shit, because everything that we say is true. Now, I've been talking a lot about immigration and etc., and this guy right here is saying everything that I've been saying throughout my whole time in this channel. And these are the rules that I know, and I like that man and some other people actually remember that these were rules that were supposed to be implemented, but for some reason, maybe Congress changed the law, who knows? But what I do know is that that is the way that you protect this country. We don't want garbage to come into our country. We want people that are going to be better than the actual citizens of this country. I don't want to see hate or violence from people that are illegal, demanding that they get papers, demanding respect like this is their country. No, get the hell out of here. Go do that back in your country. Go fight your government. We'll fight ours. If President Trump steps out of line, we'll call it out. Unfortunately for you guys, he's doing everything right. Everything that I voted for, he's doing. And I'm waiting for more for him to do. Let's remember that we are no longer a country of embarrassment. The Japanese are very honorable. They don't come over and respect useless people or weaklings. They respect the strong, the courageous, the valiant. The great leaders is what they respect. That's why they don't say nothing. President Xi, quiet. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. Now the left side, the Democrats, they want to know, oh look, President Xi giving him the cold shoulder. Of course, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that President Trump's got him on the palm of his hands, eating like a little bird. That's right. That's right. He's protecting this country. We are not presidents, but we can always tell the truth. And for all of you that are migrants in this country, you should remember your oath when you become an American citizen and put your word where it needs to be.
Experts agree that the next several months will determine how this reform shapes the U.S. immigration landscape. Much will depend on how enforcement agencies interpret admissions of conduct and how broadly they apply the new deportation triggers. The Department of Justice and DHS are expected to issue detailed policy memos to clarify enforcement boundaries. At its core, the new immigration law represents a decisive shift towards stricter compliance and uniform standards. While it introduces some modernization benefits for legitimate applicants, it also narrows the margin for error across every visa category. Legal analysts describe this as a new era, one in which only full citizenship guarantees lasting security.
Let's go.
For all others, including students, skilled workers, and long-term residents, the expectation of flawless compliance has never been higher. For now, immigration attorneys recommend caution, awareness, and full legal transparency when filing any petition or renewal under the revised law. They stress that understanding the specific provisions can prevent unnecessary risks and ensure lawful status continuity. This concludes today's coverage on the U.S. immigration reform law.
Well done, my friend. Well done. And his channel is called U.S. Immigration Insight. I recommend that you go look him up because I know that he's going to be giving more information like this. So make sure you like his video and subscribe. Again, U.S. Immigration Insight. I'll make sure to put a comment on there that I stole his video presentation to show you guys some information. Now, the next video that I have ready for you guys is actually from Lara Trump. And believe me, I put this in order for a reason. Anybody have any questions so far about illegal immigration? Let's take a look at the bald Matt Richard. You will be saying that when ICE agents approach you and ask you for your green card. I don't have a green card. I have an American U.S. passport, and that's exactly what I'm going to show them. Now, speaking of that, that's actually a good point. Let me remind you guys that a lot of illegal immigrants like to go to weak states. Weak states where they give you an ID or a license, even though you are not a resident or a citizen of this country. That's a problem. If you're a migrant, you don't need a license here. You got a permit to be here for a certain amount of time, and your international license may be accepted, depending on your state. You do not get a license. You do not get an ID just because you bring something from your country that who knows if it's legal or not. The point is that when ICE comes to your house, if they come to your house, just make sure you got your papers in order. There's nothing wrong with that. We know that there was a massive invasion. We're not going to go around hating everybody, but if they come and ask you for documents, don't be rude. Cooperate. Make their job easier and tell them, thank you for your service. I think that it's not hard to do, and you know what? I've been pulled over before. No ticket, but they were rough, like, serious and all this stuff. But I still thank them for their work, for their support. As a matter of fact, I got a story. When I was down in Honduras, I was down there visiting. Now, you guys don't know, or maybe you don't see it, but I have this tattoo right here, right? Well, in Honduras, there's a time where if you had a certain tattoo on, you were probably part of a gang. Now, mine is just a cross. But somebody called the soldiers against me, the military police. I came into this restaurant and I wanted to have some food. And these three soldiers come in and they came and asked me questions. And I said, well, I am Honduran, but I'm here visiting. I was a green card holder then. I was not a citizen. And, the guy grabs my arm like, he just grabs my arm, and I said, "Well, hey, what can I ask you what you're here for?" And he's like, "Well, let me see that tattoo on your arm." And I was like, "Yeah, well, you can ask. You don't have to grab me." And I showed him my tattoo, right? And he said, "So what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I am here visiting my country. I am a tourist in my own country." And he says, "Well, somebody called us and they said that there was some suspicious activity here, that maybe there was a gangbanger here, right? Or what we say, allá, son mareros. Mareros is a cholo or a gangbanger." And when he finished, I told him, I said, "Well, if you need something," I said, "I can call my cousin. He is a judicial federal judge, and he can vouch for me who I am." And he just kind of stepped back and like, "Oh shit, you know what I do, right?" Well, I'm not gonna go and abuse that, you know. But I told him, I said, "Hey, listen, no, it's not about that." I said, "I appreciate you coming in to check. I feel safer because you are a tough soldier and you're trying to keep the peace in this country. And I know what these crazy people do. So thank you so much for your service." And I shook his hand like Donald Trump shakes a hand. I was always taught on a business as entrepreneurs that we're supposed to have a firm handshake. And of course, when I stand up, he's like down here to me, right? I'm only 6'1", 6'2" with shoes. But nonetheless, it's not that like I'm intimidating, but I told him thank you for his service. So I don't have animosity against service people, police, military. On the contrary, I give them kudos for sacrificing their life. It's not easy to. You cannot be nice when you're dealing with horrible people every single day. You got to understand that. Stop being a little bitch. And when they ask you to show ID, show ID. They ask you to prove if you're a resident citizen, then show it. Prove it. There's nothing hard about that. If you don't help, you are part of the problem. With that being said, let's take a listen to see what Lara Trump is going to tell us. And by the way, I already showed you the video about immigration, illegal immigration rules that were put before. Big people been breaking them, but now they're universal. And they're going to be going after states that do not want to respect federal law. With that being said, this is the second part of the set of videos that I have. I got three. I got one more after this. The last one I haven't seen yet, but it is to do with Venezuelans. Oh, thank you, Liberty. Liberty for All says, "Have you ever wondered why it's so easy for other people from countries who we have problems with get to be legal fast? But Latinos, it takes more than 10 years. Example, Muslims." Well, that's a good question, Liberty. And one of the things that I have made a point of before, I made a comparison when Barack Obama was president. Now, let's be honest. Racism grew and multiplied greatly in this country because Barack Obama and Michelle Obama in office, talking about how racist white people are, how they're afraid for their life because of white people. That's some stupidity. And this is how we knew we made a mistake with these people. But anyways, he deported over 3 million Hispanics, over 3 million Latinos out of this country, but allowed not only to come here, but to actually get residency to over 300,000 Muslim people. And he didn't deport the Muslims that were already here. And now today, we're finding out that Muslims are multiplying more rapidly than anything else in the country. I read a story about this Muslim man that was living in Italy. Oh, my favorite prime minister. That lady is tough, beautiful, and smart. He was living in Italy for over 29 years, I believe it was the years. And then she found out that in one of these, messages that he was giving at a mosque, he was talking about how Muslims need to fight to take over the country. And you know what? She deported him, canceled his residency, and deported him. "Get the hell out of my country," she said. So who knows who were the poor bastards, probably us, that actually took that guy. That's a great leader when they're looking out for the benefit of the people. I can appreciate that. Thank you for the comments, guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are who makes this channel phenomenal. Thank you guys for the likes and for the subscribes. You guys are really awesome. I appreciate it. Let me see. What else we got? Let's see. The stock market is going to tank. You wish, Rock. You wish. Let's see. You got to be smart, bro. Did you know the stock market? Here, let me give you something about the stock market. The stock market is a fear-mongering tool. Okay? The stock market does not benefit the local economy, just so that you know. All it does is allow people, like to me, I see it as gambling. You invest money. If you're smart, you're going to find out, okay, what's going on right now? What's going on in the industry? Okay, we're bringing manufacturers back to the States. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put some money to invest on manufacturers. Those companies that have manufacturers, that's what I want to invest my money on. AI, chips, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go ahead and invest money on that. Think about it. Am I going to invest money on the farmers? No, not right now. Not right now, but we will. Right? So you got to find where you can invest, and hopefully you hit it big. Yeah. Rich people get richer because they take sacrifices, and I've also seen rich people go broke, and they never come back. Trump was broke. He did come back. Now, it's very interesting. He's been averaging between $1 and I think $3, maybe $4 billion worth of money, and Elon Musk just surpassed him by huge. But it tells me that he's not a cheater. It tells me that he's honest. And by having that amount of money going in, he's making investments, giving away and taking in, giving away, taking in. And that's kind of how it needs to work. Now, they also can be manipulated to make you think that something is great. Like you can see right now, the SP 500, boom, man, plus 12 points. Oh my God, somebody just got rich. And then you're like, oh man, that's a good one. Let me invest on that. And then all of a sudden, that crashes. Let me tell you what the stock market has done since it was invented. It has gone like this, and like this, and like this. It's always changing, so don't be a moron. Don't think that the stock market is bad because of what's going on right now with President Trump. You guys are dumb if you think that. The local economy is what you should be worrying about. You want to make investments and take a risk on stocks? Go for it. But that's not what makes the economy in this country go around. I don't understand why people don't know that part. But let me see what other questions we have here before I jump onto the next video here with Laura. Let's see. No more people here. We have enough. Yep. Yeah, we have more than that. We got to get rid of them. We got to get rid of them. I really hope that President Donald Trump makes an executive order to ban Muslims from coming into our country. We need to put a stop at that, at least for the next 5-10 years. No more Muslims coming in here. These guys didn't come here to assimilate. They don't come over here to practice their religion peacefully. They want to take over our country. Let's not make no mistake about it. They say it. They say it in their mosques. They want to take over this country. They want to make you Muslim, which is a fake religion, by the way. Okay, I respect that if they believe the religion is right, I'm going to respect them. I'm going to salute them the way they salute. But I don't believe in that religion. Just so you know, yes, I have the book and I read the book. It's not a real religion. It's a man-made religion to just oppress. It's a government-made religion. They took some of the principles of the Bible, copied some of them, and that was it. And then they put their own twist on it. That's how that works. All right, so let's see. It's not economy, moron. Oh, Rock, you don't know shit. If you don't know what stock market is for, then you don't even get to tell me what the economy is because you don't know anything about that. Let's see. Dark Matter says, I'm making money in stocks. Well, get some, baby. Get some. Absolutely. I'm not going to stop nobody from investing on the stock market. Are you crazy? I actually made a lot of money myself. Let's see. Paul Salsi says, no kings last week. This week, feed me, my king. I said that too. I said that. This EBT has gone wild, he says. Get your ass a job. Tell it like it is, baby. Let's go. All right. It's time to listen to some Laura. Here we go, guys.
Election day is around the corner. Millions of Americans have already cast their ballots. And this Tuesday, we'll find out where our country stands and where it plans on going. From the governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia to the mayoral battle in New York City. The stakes couldn't be higher. The results will determine whether America keeps moving towards safety and prosperity or backslides into the failed promises of socialism. We're being told that we should hand power back to the far-left radicals who wrecked our cities, bankrupted our states, and mocked our brave police officers. But we see the truth. The left hasn't learned a darn thing. In New Jersey, Democrat Mikey Sherrill is basically a clone of the same disastrous agenda that pushed Green New Deal mandates and sanctuary cities. Her opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, put it best on our show earlier this year.
People have had it with these far-left radical extreme policy positions that Democrats have taken. I just don't understand it. They're out of touch and totally arrogant with what's going on in the minds and hearts and souls of everyday New Jerseyans.
He's right. Voters are fed up.
Hold on, Lara. Sorry about that. Hydro says Dennett talks about Muslims but never been to any country. Are you kidding me, bro? They're here. They're in Honduras. They're everywhere. What a moron. You think you have to go to the Middle East to see Muslims, you dumbass? Pay attention to what's happening in your country. That's why you're losing it.
But just across the Hudson, New York City is flirting with something even worse in Zohran Mamdani, an avowed democratic socialist promising to tax more, police less, and subsidize everything.
Good
just
job.
as long as voters don't catch on to the skeletons in his closet.
For anyone to care about these issues, we have to make.
Wait, hold on, Mandami. Listen to this Muslim, sir. Listen. You don't have to go too far. Listen. Here we go.
Hyperlocal. We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF.
Smearing the NYPD while dragging our country's key ally, Israel. And he wants the keys to America's biggest city? But whether it's Cheryl or Mamdani, the thread is the same. Contempt for police, contempt for order, and a push for liberal fantasy land where nothing costs anything and no one is ever held accountable. We've seen where this ends, and it's not pretty. Think Soviet Russia, Mao's China, or even Castro's Cuba. In Virginia, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears is running for governor. She's lived the consequences of Democrat socialism in Jamaica, and she warned us all back in August.
I left that so-called Democrat socialism in Jamaica. It doesn't work because we had no money. We had no jobs created. Everything's going to be free. Free groceries, free rent. And who pays for this?
Yeah, who pays for that?
When you've escaped socialism, you can smell the smoke before the fire.
That's right, Linda.
Winsome sees it in Virginia. But many miles away, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado is living in socialism's inevitable aftermath, fighting every day to lift her nation from Maduro's tyranny and restore liberty.
Here we go. Pay attention.
And Maria Machado joins me now. Maria, thank you so much for being with us.
Hold on, Lara. Maria Machado, the Nobel Peace Prize, who believes President Donald Trump is the great white hope. Pay attention.
Here on My View, I have to start by asking you, as a person who has spent so much of your life fighting against socialism in your own country of Venezuela, give me your response whenever you look here to the United States and you actually see people advocating and fighting so hard for socialism here in the U.S.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. And I have to say that Venezuela is the living example of the devastation that socialism and crime can bring to a society. Less than 20 years ago, Venezuela was the richest country in Latin America. Today is one of the poorest. And it's because socialism talks about everybody being equal, but it's everybody being equally poor. There's no such thing as a free lunch. When the state gives you something, it takes something away from you, and it's your ability to make choices and makes you dependable on the state. So this is very dangerous, and I hope that Venezuela's example can be seen and learned from other societies and nations.
We can learn. Democrat socialists in this country, they never learn. Even the president of Honduras, that female that has sold our country to Venezuela, she hasn't learned either. Can't wait for her to get off office.
What would be your message to people here in the United States who want to make socialism rather mainstream and something that we see more of here in the U.S.?
Look, if there's something I admire in the US, is your values. What makes America great is how you have defended freedom and create strong institutions with clear rules, rules of law, and free markets. Liberty can be lost in less than.
I love what she's saying, but I want to point something out to you. If it was because of Democrats over here supporting socialism, this country would be shit. But I want you to take this into perspective. 42% capitalism, and this country's still the greatest country. Imagine if we were 100%. If we didn't have no lazy bums that want to depend on food stamps, popping children left and right, not teaching them values, not teaching them family values, not teaching them to be good patriots, not teaching them to be good workers, to have good ethics, to be honest, to not lie, to say no to crime, to say no to all immoral things. Imagine how much greater this country would be. Unfortunately, we got almost half of the population in this country that believes in socialism. I know they say 66, but there's a lot of people in here, and these are Democrats, not Republicans, by the way. I think most of Republicans or conservatives, per se, not just Republican, conservative people, will agree with me on that.
A generation. And 20 years ago in Venezuela, people used to say, no, we're not Cuba, that it's not going to happen to us. And look, but it does happen. So you have to take care and defend freedom every day of your life and take it seriously.
Well, we're hopeful that we don't see it come here, but unfortunately, there are those who are advocating for it here, Maria. Let me ask you, do you agree with the Trump administration's decision to put a $50 million bounty on the arrest of Nicolas Maduro? What's your reaction to that?
I absolutely do. Nicolas Maduro is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. He lost an election. We won by a landslide, and he committed fraud. And he has been applying state terrorism. He declared war on the Venezuelan people. It has been stated by the United Nations Fact-Finding Mission and the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. I mean, these are crimes against humanity. And Nicolas Maduro is the head of a narco-terrorist structure that as he has declared war against the Venezuelan people, also he has declared a war against the democratic nations in this hemisphere. And the way to stop a criminal structure is through, law enforcement and cutting the inflows that comes from their criminal activities, like drug trafficking, human trafficking, gold smuggling, and so on.
Well, we've certainly seen tensions heighten between our two countries as a result of some of the drug cartels. We've seen the response of this country, the United States, to having these narco boats coming into our waters, coming to America. What do you make of all of that?
Well, like a precision, the tensions are against Nicolas Maduro. The Venezuelan people totally support President Trump and this strategy, because we have been fighting for 26 years to liberate our country. We have thousands of people that have disappeared, tortured, even killed, just for voting and defending our vote.
Let me go back to that picture right here. Let me go back a little bit.
Tortured, even killed.
What do you see right here, guys? What do you think that is? Maybe some empty white gallons for gasoline, maybe. Maybe it's just flour for tortillas. Maybe they were really going to go bake some big cakes. And of course, they need a, 2-3 engine to push this little boat with a bunch of plastic bottles. Yeah, I don't think those are drugs, guys. It looks like cocaine, but I don't think so. Maybe something else. Maybe some weed. Somebody's probably
just for voting and defending our vote. votes. And now we have the possibility to stop this war, because this is about saving millions of lives and turning Venezuela from the criminal hub of the Americas into the energy hub of the Americas. We will turn Venezuela through an orderly and peaceful transition into the best ally, the best security ally of the US. We will get rid of the Iranian, Russian agents, the groups from Hezbollah, Hamas, and the cartels that freely operate in our country, and for the benefit for very few, and hunger and poverty for a majority of our country. And something very important, Nara. You know, a third of our population have been forced to flee for survival. Good, hardworking Venezuelans that want to come back. And the day Maduro goes, you will see millions of Venezuelan migrants coming back home. We want our children back home to build a prosperous, safe nation that is going to be the greatest ally of the United States in the region.
Well, we certainly...
That touches my heart. It might mean nothing to you, but it almost brings tears to my eyes the way she says they want their children back home. That touches my heart. I think she's an amazing woman, and I think that Venezuela is going to get what they need to get. This video is going to be about Venezuelans, some migrants that need some assistance, and etc. It's a translated video, so I want to hear it. I haven't seen it yet. But according to the title, it says migrants beg for money on the streets of Mexico and poverty skyrockets in Mexico. This is what happens when you don't implement the law at the border. This is what happens when you start saying that you are this holy person that believes in Christ and allows everybody to come into your country, and that you're willing to share all the resources while you already have poverty levels that nobody's seen before today's time, and yet you are allowing all these other people that are other countries' responsibility to come in. What Mexico is experiencing, it is nothing compared to what we have in this country. And then let's remember that the rich pay over 72% of all the taxes collected on this country. Now, I see some people in here asking for higher wages. I agree with you to a point, but I think that you stop caring about whose fault it is that you can't afford groceries, that you can't afford to put gas in your car, that it's very hard to keep moving forward on our economy. And that is your local freaking government that keeps raising prices, that keep raising taxes. And you think that whoever is president is at fault for that. To a certain extent, there might be. But I will tell you right now, your misery in the States, that is your local government. You can blame the rich. You can blame all you want. But let me tell you what happens. I'm going to give you an example because I cannot be an employer. Not yet. I probably will be one day again. But let me tell you what happens. I rarely have enough money to keep my business afloat, meaning that I'm able to pay my house mortgage. I'm able to pay everything, but there's no extra money for me because I got to pay my employees. When they raise taxes on me, everything goes up for me as a business owner. It doesn't go up for you, the employee, requesting high wages. The moment that you get high wages and then I get those taxes put on my business, I can no longer be in business. So I got two choices. I'm going to fire half of my employees and pay the rest of my employees a higher living wage, and I'm going to keep struggling to the point where the next time that they raise taxes and regulations and all these surcharges and all these fees that they want to apply on business owners that are trying to make money, I'm going to have to fire the rest of the people and say, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to pull in all the money that I can, and I'm going to go and live in some Filipino country. I'm going to go live in the Philippines because I can actually live there like a rich person for the rest of my life instead of struggling here in the States like a business owner just to hear the name. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So before you start asking employers to pay you a higher living wage, Why don't you go stand against your government and tell them to start raising taxes? You got to go to the real problem. You got to go to the source of the problem. That's your local government. Everybody that is on the left side and the socialist side, they always say, tax the rich, let's get more money from the rich. But the bottom line is, you need to go out there and get rich. You know why you don't do it? Because you don't know how. Because you can't. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And if you do become rich, I want to see you. Hey, I want to pay more taxes. Now that I'm making more money, I want to pay more taxes. Here you go. Give it to somebody that's not working. I want to see you laughing then. Yeah, it's easier to sacrifice somebody else's money and time. A lot of people don't even have time to spend with family. A lot of rich men lose their wives and children because they work their ass off all the time. They spend so much time away from their spouses, and I'm talking about men and women. They spend so much time away from the spouses, they end up cheating with somebody else. That is the price of being rich for a lot of these people. Look at actors, actresses, billionaires. Why can they have that one wife? There's very few rich people that I know that are still together with their high school sweetheart. What's the one example? I forget his name, but he's the new Captain America, the black guy. I believe he is still with his high school sweetheart. And the guy's got money now. He's rich. So let me ask you, I have worked my ass off. I have worked 2 jobs for so many years. So many years, 2 jobs. I know I made decisions. I had to pay 50% of my check. I get it. There's my decisions, okay? There's consequences to every decision that we make. But there is benefits and rewards to every action that we take to be able to get something for ourselves. And I'm going to tell you something. I worked 2 jobs, and I still didn't have money to get what I needed for myself. So I am not going to blame President Trump for something that happened 20 years ago to me, 30 years ago. It's ridiculous. Just can't do it. Over 30 years working my ass off. And the government just keeps raising taxes. Just when I think I got a nice raise at home, at work, the government puts more taxes on me. The milk goes up, eggs go up, gas, diesel, all that goes up. Taxes are destructive for the American citizens. They lie to you every single day when they tell you these taxes are going for this. They never make it. How do I know? They have thrown billions of dollars into our educational system, and we suck in education. Think about that. People in this country have more empathy for illegal immigrants than they have about their own family and citizens that are living in this country. You got to stand up for something right. You got to stand up for justice, for what's fair. You can't be taking care of your neighbors and your children are being sacrificed. How are you going to go love the neighbors and then your children are all neglected? You want to go feed the world and you can't even feed your own house. It's ridiculous. Think. Use that brain. How old are you? Tell me that you have gathered some wisdom. If you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, for Pete's sakes. If you get older, you probably forget. I get it. But tell me that you have gotten some sort of wisdom, that you have seen what illegal immigration is doing to your country. Tell me that sexual immorality hasn't been destroyed in this country. You allow the LGBTQ to grow as long as they have, and now you're losing your children to that. You have put yourself in a situation where Muslims will take over your country. But we don't want that, and we're going to fight as long as we can fight. I'm telling you right now, there's other people that love the United States of America. If you hate it here, send me a message from here. We'll go ahead and trade you places. You get the hell out of here, and then we get people that love this country and that want to fight for it. That will make this a perfect country. Grab all your loony mental health issue people and go move into an island together. Let people that actually can do something for this country do something for this country. If you're not going to help, get the hell out the way. It's very simple. Now let's take a look and see what the life in Mexico is today. Oh, that's a mango tree back there. I miss my mango trees. Let's listen up real quick.
We ask for help from people who are in cars that stop or passersby who pass by on the road. Right? But many people like this, begging for money, and that looks bad, right? Because when you look closely, the country that asks for money in all countries is Venezuelans. The main avenues of the historic center of Mexico City are constantly being visited by migrants asking for money from passersby. Entire groups, many of them small children, are positioned at traffic lights, subway station entrances, and public squares. There are people who don't have money to buy anything. That's the reality. They told us that the government was going to give us $100, but we had to work. This practice has...
The government was going to give them $100, but they had to work? No, Pupienas. It's not AI video, but it's not just Venezuelans. There was Hondurans in there, and there's other people. I've seen this video before from this guy. They have taken parts of other videos, but it's legit. I don't see how this guy, look at him. He's fit. He's got muscles on, and he's over here pretending to be all miserable, crying, begging on his knees, and he's got his 2 daughters with him, if they are actually his daughters. What an embarrassment. I'm sorry, but as a father, I can never let my kids see me do that. I can never let them see me do that. I will try to make money to feed my kids, even if I have to starve. I will die trying to provide for my family. I tell you that right now.
Spread from the southern border to the country's major cities and heralds a social and economic collapse if immediate measures are not taken. The National Migration Institute reports that each recent caravan has exceeded 100 people. 1,000 of us go out, and every day, 1,000, 15, 800, 700 people are leaving every day. Cubans, Venezuelans, Haitians, and Hondurans spread out along the main streets asking for financial aid. Videos captured by security cameras and citizens show lines of people.
I'm going to tell you something. You can disagree with me all you want, but I can tell you right now, if they are suffering in their country of birth, they're going to suffer over here. Very few make a change in their life, in their habits. Very few assimilate to what they're looking for. But the majority, they're hard-headed. They already learned to live in disorder. They already grew up disrespecting the law, disrespecting authority, bitching, complaining about everything hard that life throws in their face. They got cell phones. Tell me, somebody that has a cell phone that's worth $1,200, you gonna tell me that they're suffering in Honduras? No, it's people don't want to live. They want to be rich, and that's not how you do it. They come in here with the excuse, as long as I come to the United States and work for a couple of years, I'm going to make so many dollars, and I'm going to be rich in Honduras. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I've been here for almost 40 years. I haven't reached that. I have made a lot of money, and I have lost a lot of money. Sometimes the consequences of our decisions keep us down. But the one thing that we don't do is stay down. We keep fighting to keep moving forward. We keep fighting to see what we can do for our country. That's how you live. That's the people that we want in this country. People that want to fight to protect it and to keep it prosperous. Yeah, we can't get rid of lazy people. It is what it is. But what a great country this would be if we get rid of that. Right. Even if you call me poor, Am I bitching and complaining about the rich people having what they have? No. On the contrary, I bless them. Make more. Because maybe I'm not benefiting from it, but there's millions of people that are. It's not about me. It's about others sometimes. I work for myself and my family. My wife and I both work for our family. Who do you work for? Who are you fighting for? Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. If you're disabled, like really disabled, if you are a retiree, if you're a senior citizen that has been retired, if something bad happened and you have to retire soon, you deserve that help. It's there for you. You should get your Social Security. You should get your free medical. You should get your free food. And maybe, probably, assistance with your living. I believe that. But anybody that is over 16 years old can get their ass to work. If their family works together and they are allowed to go to school without having to work, great. But if it's tough times, they might not even graduate high school. Let me tell you my story about graduating high school. I was emancipated at the age of 16. If you don't know what that is, ask on the chat. I had to go to school. I had to go to work. I played sports to try to get a scholarship to the University of Washington. By the way, they offered me a full scholarship by the end of my junior year. I had to go to school, work, play the sport, go to work, and then go home late at night, start doing homework, go to sleep about almost 1 in the morning, had to get up back at 5:30 in the morning, get ready for school, and walk to school. I walked to school, went to school 7 periods, did my practice, my training, and then I went to work, and every day throughout my junior year and my senior year, I worked so much I couldn't gain weight. I was a good, healthy 190 pounds, though, and I was ripped. I had so much energy when I was young. I was blessed to be born a warrior for this life. I level people twice my size and even bigger and taller. But the point I'm making is you have to make a decision. Either you give up or you keep going forward. I saw how many students, and we're not going to name colors or race or ethnicity or anything, but I saw so many students that have both parents supporting them. They drove to school. They had Air Jordans, $150 sneakers. They had necklaces and they were flashy, and they freaking dropped out of school. I seen athletes, effortless. They were athletes effortlessly. Dropped out of high school. I had nobody. I had to go to school full time, work almost full time. I had no time for anything except work and school. So don't tell me that you're going to ask for better living wages. I was too young then. I wish I would have gotten into politics a long time ago. But you got to stand up for your rights, and that is go to your local government and hold them accountable for it. If they didn't wasted billions of dollars on NGOs, they wouldn't have the excuse to raise taxes. Just saying. It's the truth.
In the Central Park with signs that say help with food or travel to the border. Others beg to be able to get through because if not, I would be ashamed to ask. I am ashamed because I never did that. But thank God I am here today fighting for my dreams and to provide for my family, my brothers. Begging is not...
Hold on. I know begging is not the way, but let me tell you, somebody said something here. Hold on. JC, you didn't hang out with rich people. Oh boy, you have no idea, bro. So number one, I have cousins that are business owners. They got mansions. Just because we're family doesn't mean that I'm also smooching of their riches. Nope, my mother taught me never to beg. And I would tell them compliments. Oh my gosh, your house is beautiful. Man, you got a big yard. I mean, I got cousins that they will get a brand new vehicle. Back then, over there, their favorite trucks are Nissans or Toyotas, full cabin, but not like the ones here. They're different over there and mechanical. They're standard. They're not automatic. 300,000, 500,000 lempiras. 2 to 3 months paid. Can I even buy a bike? Nope. Not even a bike. Would they have nicer things than me? Absolutely. They have luxuries. I didn't got jack squat. Did they tell me, hey, Dennis, let me buy you a pair of shoes? Not once. They didn't have to. I love my cousins. I say, man, maybe one day I can be like this, you know? Yeah, good for you guys. I have never been envious of anybody that's been more successful than me. Now, when I used to be an entrepreneur, I've been around very rich people, successful people, and I just don't have the hustle like they did. They became successful. I kept making mistakes. I cheer them on. I cheer them on. There's no need for me to hate them. No. See, that's the problem. You guys are entitled. You guys are the ones that want hand-me-downs. You guys don't have a self-esteem or I don't know what the word is in English right now, but you guys don't care about your image. You are more than happy to stretch a hand and says, give me some money. No, if you're working, of course, hey, every laborer is worthy of pay. I do this. I get super chats. Sometimes people become members. Yeah, this is how I make money. And you don't hear me all the time, and you know, maybe a lot of people do, but you don't hear me all the time asking for super chats. The only time I tell anybody that is when they're over here demanding that I answer a question that I haven't read. If I don't see it, I won't answer it. Liberty for All, he was here earlier, and that's what he does. He puts a chat in there. $5, $10, $20. That's how they show support. If they can do it, they can do it. They can put a comment. I've had people in here put money on there without anything. They just want to help. And I appreciate that. But they know what I stand for. I'm not a beggar. I work my ass off to be able to bring something to you. I give you information as an immigrant that came to this country, as a Hispanic that has seen a lot of atrocities in Honduras. But I still think that Honduras is beautiful. Yeah, we got bad people, but the country is beautiful. Is it overheated? Oh my God, yes it is. But I still love it. The houses are small? Yeah. So what? As long as I get me some baleadas, I am a happy camper. As long as I get me some cultural food, I'm so happy. As long as I can go into the street and be able to get some fried green bananas, banana chips with some cabbage and some chicken feet. Oh, man. That's taste right there, baby. That's living. I don't have to have the best foods for somebody else's thinking. You know what? I see rich people. I go to rich restaurants over there, by the way, just so you know. And I see people spending hundreds of dollars, not lempiras, dollars, in the food that they're eating. And I'm just counting like, oh my God, man, I could have bought that for 2 weeks. I could have been eating this, that, and this and that. And these guys are spending it here in one night, which is okay because they got that kind of money. I'm not hating on them for that. But my point is that those people were not born rich. They went to school. They fought hard. I have the example of this brother in Christ. His name is Angel Orellana. He used to come to our house when I was a kid. He used to come to our house, and we shared one little room with my brother, with him, and me. 3 of us in a very small room. And he never forgets that we spent that time. We were poor, but together we were able to make some money. Well, I was a kid. They were able to make some money. Yeah, you know, we get some rice, Mainly beans, mainly beans. But sometimes you get some rice, and once in a while you have a pork chop. Now, how many of you here take that for granted? Beans and beans, and that's it. That's it. Just beans. And once in a while, we'll go all out and get that one pork chop. And we were happy, my friend. We were happy. I remember at night, I was a kid, man. I wish I was grown up back then. But I was a kid, and I remember that we had this wooden house, okay? And sometimes the wood goes bad, so you have to fix it. You cut it, and then you get new wood, and then there's a lot of labor that goes into it, right? And I remember my mother will send me to the store late at night, send me to the store and grab a couple of Coca-Cola liters, and told me to bring the cups, and I will bring like a few bags of. It's like a hot dog bun, but it's not. Bags of, let's just say hot dog buns for the sake of the story, and some mantequilla, which is creamy sour cream, but it's, if you add a little bit of salt, if you ever tasted Philadelphia cheese, that's kind of how it tasted, but it was a little bit more runny. So if you ever want to find out how it is you grab a stick of Philadelphia cheese, and you grab you get a quart of heavy whipped cream, and you throw it in there with the cheese, and you can add a little bit of salt if you want, and just keep mixing it until you can actually get it runny. That is the cream mantequilla, okay? And we used to put that inside the bread, and man, we'll eat that, and we'll drink the Coca-Cola, and it's just like late at night, 12, 1 in the morning, the job got done. Early in the morning, the next day, they got to go to work. What an amazing time to have. And you know what that does to me? I learned. I didn't know that this is how it was going to be for me when I grew up. But they stayed up until 1 in the morning trying to fix the house because they had to work 7 days a week to make money, to provide for each other. So when I got up early in the morning and went to school, that was my work. And then I played my sports. That was my investment. I failed at my investment. But then I went to work for money. And I was able to get me some food. And then I would go home almost at midnight, start doing my homework very late. Because of that, my grades dropped. They switched the grading in school. It used to be 30% homework and 70% testing. Meaning that in order for you to actually pass and graduate, you have to do very good on your testing. And I was 100% on my test sometimes I got 95. But I was almost perfect. I was always an A or A plus on my test. And my homework didn't matter much. And then they flipped it to 60-40. And unfortunately, if you don't have your homework done, it doesn't matter if I was getting 100s on my test. It was still a failing grade. So I kept losing my grading. And I had to find myself before every single period. I had to hurry up and finish math. I had to hurry up and answer social studies. I had to answer, questions from my chemistry class, etc. It is not easy. But now that I tell you that story about them doing that at the middle of the night because they had to work every single day, now I know why I have that habit. Now I know why I was able to push through. And the point where I'm making with this story is this, that you believe and you're teaching people to not have a self-esteem. That's the word that I was looking for earlier. You have no self-esteem that you give anything, even your own self-esteem, to somebody else for a few bucks. You don't have no self-esteem. No self-respect is the word. That's the one. No self-respect. You give up and you go on the street and you make just enough money so that you can either get something to eat or so that you can go buy some drugs for yourself. Because that's where you end up. You get more stressed, more depressed. You fall into this deep, dark hole and you don't know how to get out of it. Omar knows what I'm talking about. Berniel, what's up, baby? Good to see you in here, man. You know, when you fall into very dark depression, it's very hard to come out of it. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I would have killed myself if it wasn't for Christ. If it wasn't for God. If it wasn't for the Holy Spirit that told me when I grabbed that gun that was loaded in Honduras. I was going through a really hard time. I don't want to tell you the details of why. Some people know already. I grabbed this gun and the Holy Spirit says, you know what? You need to pray. I know, but what's prayer going to do to me? It's not going to bring back what I just lost. I lost everything. Everything. I still decided to pray. And I had this deep sleep come on me. I haven't been able to sleep for over 33 days. I will never forget it because I counted. When I woke up, it was around the same time that I fell asleep, but it was the next day. I slept for over 24 hours, and I had this knot in my throat. It was gone. I can breathe again. The weight was lifted off my shoulders. I was in Honduras. And I said to my cousin, the rich one, by the way, I said, I give you my properties for just one-way ticket back to the United States of America. And she did. And she said to me after I came here, hey, primo, I know that you said that you wanted to give me your properties for one-way ticket. He's like, no, you can have it. I said, no, cousin. I thank you, but I gave you my word. You can keep it. I do not owe you anything, but I'm very grateful that you did that for me. And you know what? 22 and a half years of paying child support. Praise be to God. That's not a fake story. Sometimes I do get emotional if I think too much about it. But it's a real, true story. And I am grateful to God. And it doesn't matter how you think that I failed him as a Christian. He never fails me. And if I fight for the truth, and if I fight for what's just, it's because of God and God alone. So for some of you guys, so I'm going to tell you how. Okay, I'm going to share with you a little bit of how it was. So you guys already know that my father. Everybody knew I was my father's favorite. If you heard of the story of Joseph in the Bible, that is the prophecy in my life, given to me by prophets. Now, whether you believe on that or not, it's irrelevant. But this was prophecy given to me, and they gave me the story of Joseph. They hated me because I was my father's favorite. That's how it was. I was neglected. I don't think my sister hated me, but I was neglected, and I was abused. And so every month, my mom will send money to us, okay? And we used to have a recorder. Remember those tape recorders? I know you guys remember the tape recorders. And so we had a stereo, and we put a tape in there, and we start recording. And my brother's standing next to me with a belt. And I would say, hi, Mommy. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for the money that you sent so that we can eat. And my brother bought me new shoes. And I got a new outfit, new pants, and a shirt. And I'm behaving. I'm being a good boy. And no, my brother loves me. He treats me very good. I can't wait for you to come back. Please come back. Hurry, come back. Yeah. It wasn't an easy story. It is a very hard story, but I love my brother. You know, that's things in the past. But to see a child have to go through these things, believe me, when I say that these people shouldn't be here illegally, I know the pain that it causes people to say that, but I will not sit here and allow people to break the law. If my mother didn't allow me to break the law after everything that I went through as a child, which, by the way, one of my brothers that was a pastor tells me that he doesn't understand. Only by the grace of God, he says, he doesn't understand how and why I am not a bad person, because he knows my suffering. And I said, well, you didn't mistreat me. I said, you neglected me, but when you were with me, you showed me kindness and you showed me love. You didn't have to be with me every single day, but I appreciate him for his support. And with that being said, Father, I want to thank you so much for your mercy. Thank you for always reminding us of where we come from, what we've been through. Father, you are the Almighty. Your grace is more than enough for us. Your love is unconditional. You have sent your only begotten Son to come and die for our sins. Father, please forgive us of our sins and our trespasses if we forgive those who sin and trespass against us. Help us be better people each day. Father, forgive me. I declare Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and that I am washed by the blood of Jesus of my sins. And I thank the Holy Spirit for being there with me when I can no longer go forth. Father, for I have believed always that in my darkest hour, you have always been a beacon of light. For when I was hungry, you fed me. And when I was cold, you clothed me. You welcomed me into your arms with love. And I can never forget that. I thank you for my children. I thank you for my family. I thank you for all the blessings that you have given me in my life. But I also thank you for the suffering that I had to go through. Maybe it was the only way that I would learn. I don't wish my life on anybody else's life. But I thank you, Father, that you gave me the strength to move on. You gave me the love that I needed. When the world rejected me, you were the only one that loved me. When even I joined the world and say that I am a nobody, that I have failed at everything in life, you told me that I was a victor. And I praise your holy name every day, Lord. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Father, I pray for all those children that are going hungry. All those children that don't have parents to lead them. Father, let them have the same hope that you gave me. May they not turn to Satan, but may they turn to you, Father. And instead of being criminals on this life, that they will make the decision to stand up for what's just and what's right. That they will learn to love you and respect the laws of the land which you allow us to live in. Father, thank you for everything that you do for us. My soul praises you, Father. I don't care what the world says anymore. The world doesn't feed me. The world doesn't believe in me. I just need you in my life. You're the only one that has made a difference in my life. And I praise you for the rest of my life, and after this life, I will praise you forever. Thank you, Father. I pray that you give us your word every day, that you give us encouragement, that you give us hope, and that help us be tough when we need to show tough love. I pray, Father, that the Holy Spirit covers Israel. May they get wisdom, strength to continue to fight. I pray for the Holy Spirit to watch over President Trump, the administration, and the American people, those who fight for this country. Strengthen them, bless them, Bring peace into their heart. Let them see what you've shown me. Let them see that your love is true for all of us. Father, I pray that we do find peace on this earth. I pray for Venezuela. I pray for all those people whose children are all over the world lost and they can't find a way. Let your Holy Spirit guide them back to where they need to be. Thank you, Lord. Yours is all the glory and all the power and all the honor, for you are the only holy, 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 in whom I put my trust in. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And if you've been sitting here with me, I need your prayers. I need that strength. Oh, Berniel, thank you, brother. I appreciate that love, brother. Thank you. See, God comes and blesses you no matter what. You can be in the worst time in your life, and He's going to bless you. Rush, she's witness. I know Linda, she's a witness. There's a lot of people that are witness that God loves us. Guys, we're not perfect. We're not here to tell you we're perfect. We are very imperfect. If you pray that prayer with me, you are forgiven. Believe it or not. But it's not the end, it's just the beginning. You got to keep fighting every single day. Let me tell you something. Jesus Christ was tempted. You know what it means to be tempted? That means that you were weak. But what you don't understand is the best example that Jesus gave us. The reason why I pray sometimes like that is because of Jesus' example. When Jesus went to the desert, he went hungry for 40 days. And he was weak. And the devil came and tempted him. But he rebuked them. Even though the thought was there, he rebuked them and he prayed. And God gave him strength. When he was rejected from his own town, he said, no prophet is a prophet in their own land. He made very few miracles in that town, as powerful as he is. But he turned around sad and left. When he was going to be put through the justice system, and he knew that he was going to be sacrificed on that cross, he knew that he was going to be whipped, one whip from death. He knew the shame, the embarrassment, the pain, the stress, the darkness that was going to overtake his flesh. But he went to pray to God. The Bible says he cried tears of blood. He was anguished. He wanted to stop. He didn't want to go through with it. He said, Father, if it's okay with you, I don't want to drink this cup. But he also said, let it be your will and not mine, because he was in the flesh. And our flesh is weak. So I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter what you've done, what you're going through in your life. You got to allow the Holy Spirit to guide you. And if you don't believe in God, hey, I wish you the best. But if you have anything in your spirit that tells you God is real, I hope you listen to that word today. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Berniel. I know, brother. I appreciate you. That hot sauce, though. He's missing the hot on it. Hey, I thank you guys, man, for your love, for your support. But we still got to stand up for what's right, even if it hurts us, even if it's if people don't believe, it doesn't matter. The fact is that we are here to make a difference. And I support our military, our servicemen, our police, all those who serve, even our corrupted politicians that are trying to be better each day. I pray to God that they will do the right thing. I know the Democratic Party doesn't exist like it used to, but we still hope that the amount of righteous people, not perfect, righteous people that fight for this country, with God's help, we'll make a difference. All right, let's finish up the video.
Not an isolated act. It is organized in shifts with leaders who assign zones and times to maximize daily collection. In Mexico City, the phenomenon has escalated to critical levels. The Zócalo, the Alameda Central, Paseo de la Reforma, and the area around the National Palace concentrate applicants every day. This concentration creates pedestrian congestion, reduces the flow of trade, and alters the urban image that the federal government has promoted as a tourist destination. Now, with the arrival of all these migrants from Central America, we once again see Cuban boys and girls selling gum on public transportation, on top of cars, at traffic lights, on public roads, and children walking, begging. Stations such as Pino Suarez, Bellas Arts, and Hidalgo have registered a 45% increase in the presence of street vendors and solicitors, many of them migrants who combine direct requests for money with the sale of candy, bottled water, or handicrafts brought from their countries of origin.
Getting here is not easy. Many of us have had people who have offered us a helping hand, but many countrymen do not have the money.
Competition for informal jobs is fierce. Migrants accept salaries of 80 to 120 pesos per day in construction, cleaning, or loading, while Mexican workers demand at least 200 pesos to cover basic expenses. My work is selling jackets, socks, bread, this outfit and that, well, depending on what the boss tells me. In traditional markets, local vendors report drops of 25 to 40% in their daily sales due to the proliferation of street stalls run by migrants. Before, we could make 400 pesos a day. Now with so many begging on the corners, people prefer to give to them because they inspire more pity, explains a driver on Route 26. In the markets, porters earn 180 pesos from sunrise to sunset, literally from 3 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. There are many migrants, but they are already working and are no longer on the streets. They are already trying to find a job. The announcement of 2 new caravans worsens the crisis. The Cuban exodus with 2,000 confirmed participants. The contingent includes Cuban doctors, engineers, and teachers who are looking to settle in Puebla, Querétaro, and Guanajuato to join the manufacturing and automotive industries. I am going with my 2 children, my sister, my nephews, and cousins, so it is quite complicated. But here we are fighting for a better future for our children. At the same time, the Venezuelan exodus will leave on November 1st from the same border with 3,500 people. This group prioritizes Mexico City as their final destination, where they plan to apply for humanitarian visas and access regulation programs. Both movements spread open messages on social media. If you are suffering in your country, join the caravan. Together we are stronger.
People are rising up and saying that if they are not going to give us the visa, then we are going to rise up in a caravan here.
These calls have created a domino effect. It is estimated that 5,000 additional people will join in the next 2 weeks.
I want you to know that some of this footage is from the Biden administration till today. So there's a lot of mixed footages in there, but the whole idea is that this mass migration didn't just, the people that didn't make it over here got stuck in Mexico and Mexico can't take it. But they can tell us that we need to take everybody. No. Every nation, you guys heard the video from the Nobel Peace Prize, Maria Machado. She wants all her Venezuelan children back, all of them. And I pray that President Trump deals with this crisis and fixes it in the name of Jesus Christ. We are praying for that. Now let me tell you what I'm looking at here. With people, I understand where you're coming, Rock. I get it. Ignorance it happens. We all have it. Let me see. Don't let those demons bring you down. Tank 98, 100%. I appreciate that. Yeah, chicklets. I remember I sold some when I was a kid, man. Let's see. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing to make money, unless you're asking for advice. Okay, don't be nosy. Let's see. Oh man, 98 HD is Mexican. He does sales, electrical, landscaping, stock market. Man, he's Mexican. We got you, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is facts. This is true. Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. You guys complain about everything and their mama, but you don't allow President Trump to do his job. You guys complain about the health care Oh, the health care. President Trump, he said he will make the health care better than ever. But you guys don't allow him. You see, you guys don't work, you don't help, and you don't let nobody else work. You guys are like locusts on the field. You destroy full crops and give nothing in return. Every other animal is giving something back to the environment. Lizards, snakes, get rid of mosquitoes, bees. They're going out there and moving pollen from one place to another. Got animals that lift weights, do the hard labor that we don't, that we can't. Now we got sophisticated equipment, I get it. But we got to do our part. If you don't want to be the whining, complaining person, do something. But do something besides complaining and whining and being envious of rich people and successful business owners. Bless them, pray for them. And if you don't believe in God, well, sorry for you. I get it. The Bible is a double-edged sword. It cuts. Truth hurts. It's tough. I suffer a lot, but I learned a lot from that suffering. Would I want to go through it again? No, but would I? Sure. Sure. If it's giving me the heart that I have today, sure. I'm very surprised myself that I'm not a horrible person, to be honest. I'm not a good person either. But God is good. And as long as I have God in me, I think things are going to turn out to be good. And that's why I always speak from the heart. I don't read scripts. I don't be looking at a monitor to read some stuff off of you unless we're reading an article together. Everything I tell you is from my heart. It's from my own soul of what I see, what I learn, and what other people have taught me with their examples in life. I will tell you right now that I wish I was the kind of person that listened to advice instead of living through the hell that we have to go through. And I don't mean literally hell, because the hell that we might go through is not something that I'm going to be joking about. There is no bikini women and free alcohol for everybody to just have fun all day, every day. No, that's a devil's lie. You might watch that on Hollywood, on movies and science fiction, but you're going to pay big time. And that's what we don't want you to do. We want you to find peace. Love yourself. You know what it means to love thy neighbor? It means that you're going to help them, but at the same time, when you love somebody, you tell them the truth. You will guide them to do the right thing. And these people, they know the law. They know the horrible life that they're going to have to live when they come through to the borders illegally. But they choose that. Remember that. Don't blame the people defending their country, their sovereignty. Don't blame those people. Blame the ones that are breaking the law. You guys complain about President Trump on everything he does, but you don't do jack squat to help him. You do nothing to help him. Especially Gary. It's no on 50. 100% no on 50. Don't be trying to get illegal immigrants to come over here and start voting in your elections, taking away your American rights. What is wrong with you guys? Why would you want somebody to come and take away your rights and your freedoms? Don't let them do that. They have their own country. They have their own government. When they get deported, they're not going to prison. They're being repatriated. They're going sent back to their country where they belong. If they decided to sell everything they own and chance it over here, that's on them. I'm going to try to go down to Honduras for at least a month or so, maybe a little bit longer. And I'm going to see if I can go and make some videos and talk to people, because there's going to be a lot of people that hate President Donald Trump, I'm sure. This last time I went, I was surprised. Everybody actually, even those that got deported, were happy to be back in Honduras. Believe that or not, they were. I couldn't find one person to tell me anything negative when I was in Honduras back in July. But I'm going to go back over there and I'm going to find out if that has changed. Because there's still Hondurans leaving to go to live in Mexico now that they know that they can't come to the States. Jai says Dennis is much better than Jimmy Kimmel. Oh man, you know what? It'd be so nice to give. Since I need to have a salary, it would be so nice to give at least most of my salary away to help people that deserve it. The hardworking people, the ones that respect the law, the ones that literally are fighting, and you can see the struggle, and they keep fighting and fighting. Those are the people that I want to help. But the ones that do this, they just get a small handout. They get a tip. They get a couple of bucks. But the ones that are using their hands to work hard, they might just get a house. They might just get their debts paid off. They might just get the vehicle that they're waiting for so that they can work their business. They might just get the equipment that they need to do what they are wanting to do in their life because they are working hard and they just can't find a chance. Those are the people you want to help. I want to help all illegal immigrants to go back home and try in their land, in their country. And if there is something that we can do to maybe keep them here, it'll be on the down low. We're not going to advertise it to the news reporters so that they can tell the world, hey, if you come here illegally and you stay here long enough, you're going to get some papers. That's not how it's going to work. So I'm not going to do that, okay? Now, these guys that need help, yes, they need help. But really, look at this old man. I want you to look at this old man. Can you see that? Let me see if I can make it bigger. I want you to look at this old man. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it's real or not, but I want you to look at him. I want to make it bigger. Let's see if that's enough. Look at this. He's holding this baby. He's old. That's not the father. That's the grandpa. And look at the golden necklace that he has inside that shirt. Say what you will. But the people that have a whole family come together here. Let me tell you how it works in the house when you have to sacrifice. If we are living in a poor country where things are really bad, like here in Venezuela, right? I want you to think of something. And I know we don't have that many people here, but I want you to hear it so that you can share the truth with somebody else. I can go to your house and you might make $100,000 a year. I can only make $20,000 a year. But my son can also go make $20,000 a year. And then my daughter can also go make another $20,000 a year. Now in this household, we're making $60,000 a year. Isn't that fantastic? And what happens? When you do your taxes, you don't pay taxes because the rich people are paying so many taxes. It's a little bit of socialism here. The rich are paying so many taxes that you're probably going to get 5 to 10 times what you actually pay for taxes, meaning that you don't make $20,000 a year. You're probably making $26,000 to $30,000 a year because you get those taxes back. And now you got 3 people working, and they're averaging about $80,000 to $90,000 a year. See, when you're poor, you either go and get a handout and give your self-esteem and respect to the government and treat them as your king because you depend on them to lead you, to tell you what to do. You're always going to be broke. Now, you can struggle. You can be poor, but not in spirit. You can be very happy by having your family with you being able to bring food into the table. Maybe not the steaks, maybe just the rice and beans like I had. A lot of times there was no rice, it was just all beans. But be grateful that you're able to feed your family. I hope that makes sense. Now, I would say it's okay to feel sorry for people when they're getting deported. I get it. I get it. But I'm going to tell you what. I know this place where 70 to 75% of the people are considered to be on their poverty level because they have the average of the income of the worker according to the base pay, the what do you call that? The minimum wage. Okay? Sorry, I'm thinking too much in Spanish. But it's the example that I give you is because I seen it work. I seen it work, and it works very well. But the family has to stay together. If the family starts breaking up and they come here illegally, a lot of things can happen if you're here illegally. One, you can get killed on the way here. Another one, you can be a prisoner. Another one, you're going to be a burden to the people you leave behind. These people are bringing their children with them into a more horrific stage in their life to what they had in their country. Maybe they were poor, but at least they had some beans to eat and the family was together. Now they're over here begging for money. The whole family says right there, we are one Venezuelan family. Collaborate so that we can continue to go to the United States. Thank you. What kind of nonsense is that? Struggle in your country, but keep your family together. Once they come here, those children won't listen to them because they're used to breaking the law. They're used to seeing authority as a devil, as a bad person. They're used to seeing presidents that are trying to keep their countries good as the evil man. Authoritarian, they say. Whoa, man, we have so much to clean up. You gotta be. You gotta be. You gotta show authority. You gotta push forward. I've seen so many people that have come here illegally. They had a family, and now they're here, and there is no family. They make money, but there is no family unity anymore. It's gone. I had a cousin. I think he's still alive. I haven't seen him for decades. His name is Pedro. It's not a joke. His name is Pedro. It's real. He's real. Pedro is one of my oldest cousins because he was the son of my oldest auntie. And just so you guys know, this is my family tree. My grandmother had my mother when she was 41 years old. My mother had me when she was 41 years old. So there's an 82-year difference between the firstborn of my grandparents and me. That being said, Pedro had this wife, a beautiful wife, by the way, beautiful. You know, the whole hips and everything. She was a housewife, cooked, clean. I mean, he made money. But she was beautiful and everything that my mother was as well. Fantastic. He decided to give her a better life, he said. Brought her to the United States of America. Not even a month went by after she met some girlfriends. They told her not to do all those things that she did for her husband, even if she was happy. Here in America, women don't do that, they said. You know what? They got divorced. And she ended up being with somebody else. This guy is as dumb as a horse. And you say, Dennis, that's messed up. Why you say that? It's not his fault that the girl was a hoe. Well, it didn't happen once. It happened 3 times. And my cousin, and I'm not gay. I know some of you, like Wedo, wants to say that I'm gay. But my cousin is good looking. Hey, my cousin was good looking. Like women melt on his feet, sort of good looking. It was very good looking. And he can have any woman he wants. I don't know now if he's still alive. I don't know. He's very old by now. He should be like 80 something. But the thing is this. He thought that bringing them over to the United States of America was going to make them happy. And even though he can grab any woman that he wanted, he decided to want to have a family, a wife. 3 times he failed. I don't know what happened after that. But I can tell you this. I feel sorry for him. I don't know if he's happy. I don't know if he ever found somebody that respected him, loved him, and gave him everything that our mothers gave to us. You see, his mom is my tia Genia, and she's one of the oldest. She loved my mom because my mom was the baby in the family. I'm the baby in the family. My daughter is the baby in the family. So there's a special place for us, even though, I was kind of in the middle of this generation where I got beat up and whatever. But the point is that he was the good son for my tia, for my auntie. The other 2, man, the other 3, I'm sorry, horrible. One brother killed the other one. One of them, one of the oldest, got drunk. Watch this. Got drunk, and every time he got drunk, he will become violent. And my poor cousin Lee, that's his name. The bad one's name is Koki, which is actually a name for Charlie, I believe. He stabbed him with a knife, took his eye out. So Lee was a pirate. Now he's got a patch on his eye. One day he got drunk, locked him in his room, and burned him alive. Not a fake story, that's true. And every day, not only did my cousin Lee's son, which is my second once removed cousin, forgave him, whenever he got drunk, he always had to hear, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take you out just like I did your dad. Well, the big mistake for him is he did that shit when I was in Honduras. Now, I'm not going to say this is a Christian thing to do, but I heard somebody yelling, and my little cousin comes in, gets behind me, and I see him like he's my son, right? He's my nephew, even though he's my second generation cousin. He's behind me, and I hear my cousin, his uncle, yelling and threatening him, and I know what happened to his dad. And I said, Tia, give me 1 second. I'm not going to make an excuse. My face got so hot. I felt a rage inside of me. And I went over there and I said, you son of a... And I'm sorry because my auntie was the mom. How dare you? And I went over there and I grabbed him by the neck and slammed him on the ground. And I'm staring at him on the eyes. And I said, you not only took his eye out, you killed him, you burned him, and you come over here and you threaten his life, an innocent child? Come back and do that shit again. You're not walking out of here alive. And of course, I would have not killed him. But the fact is that it took me off my box. And I asked for forgiveness. I told my auntie, I said, I'm so sorry that I had to do that. I hope it doesn't bother him again. Okay? And, well, my little cousin, my nephew, he found a way to come here to the States. He came here illegally. And I told him, don't go over there illegally. I said, give me time. I said, I'll adopt you. And then once you're my son legally, you will be an American citizen. I'll bring you here. And, well, he got married. He's a citizen now. He had 3 kids. They're all born here in the States. The wife is Guatemalan, but she's a citizen as well. And, I can see where some people need that help. I don't appreciate him coming here illegally, but He made it. But we're not going to say that it's okay to be here illegally because you just opening the blood the the gates. What do you call that? Oh my God, I can't think in English. The floodgates. You can't open the gates and just let everybody just float in. Flood in. You gotta have the law and you gotta respect it. Otherwise, people will take advantage of it. Look what happens with everything in life. When you give somebody $1, they expect $10 the next time. When you give them $10, they expect $100 next time. But if you go and instead of helping somebody by just giving money and you teach them how to get money for themselves, then you've done a great thing. My cousin is very successful, by the way. He's got his own business and everything. And he is not bringing anybody else here illegally. He knows that. And by the way, if you ever hear him talking on the phone, believe it or not, he sounds exactly identical like me. Everything in Spanish, not in English, in Spanish. He left me a voicemail. I thought it was me. I was like, I don't remember leaving me a voicemail. And I noticed the phone number was from New York. And I was like, I don't know. Let's see, Tom, what's going on here? Let me see. Tom said something here. The sound of absolute stupidity from a person who is desperate for attention. A loser who wants so hard to be admired and noticed. Old story, no glory. All glory goes to God, my friend. And I ask for forgiveness. I don't think that's glory. When you ask for forgiveness, it's an act of shame upon yourself, humbling, meek, in front of God. So whatever you say, my friend. If they can set a minimum wage, why can't we set a maximum wage? I will agree on that comment if the money is donated, meaning a church. If I am a minister in the church and I get paid $50,000 a year, right? With, I don't know, maybe 300 members, 400 members, whatever. If I went to 1,000 members, now I make $100,000. Is that enough for me and my family? Maybe, maybe not. But then you went to a church of now 30,000 members, and you're making 150 to 200,000. I think that's your cap. But in the church, pastors that have this many members, sometimes they make over $1 million a year in salary. I've seen a check from one of the pastors when I used to be a janitor at this Christian school and church. His check was 18,000 something for 2 weeks. Imagine that, 2 weeks. Now he was the main pastor. His wife was the co-pastor. He removed the youth pastor to allow his teenage son to become the youth pastor. Living together. Of course, when the son turned 18, he moved out into his own house. It must be nice. It must be very nice. So I will agree that there's some certain things that you should have a maximum cap. But tell me, what will be the incentive if I say, okay, I got 100 employees. Well, I reached my maximum pay. What is there for me to do now? I can acquire more wealth. So what am I supposed to do? Just lay back? And what happens if I stop investing, if I stop working because there's no incentive for me to make more money to secure my future generations? What is the incentive for me to go work some more? Well, because out of the kindness of my heart, I'm going to make you rich as well? That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Does that make sense? I agree when it comes to church. Number one, I think church should be taxed. There's a lot of money that goes through churches, and they should be taxed. And everybody that gets paid to work for the church, of course, they're paying taxes, right? But I think that there's millions of dollars that a lot of churches make. And, They don't need private planes, jets, Boeing 777s. They don't need a yacht so they can go fishing. I'm against that. I don't think a pastor that makes all the money selling scriptures should have 6 mansions. That makes no sense. That's not what God preached. That's not what Jesus preached. Right? You want to follow God, you want to follow Jesus, you better sell everything. But the only reason why he said that was not to get him to be poor. He said that to test him and to see if he loves God more than he loved his money and possessions. But the Bible says that he left sad because he had so many things to sell and didn't want to let go of it. That's what that story says, right? Mega churches, absolutely 100%. You know, it's crazy. In Honduras, there is so many churches. Oh my God, so many churches everywhere. And there's some mega churches. Now tell me, in a community, in a country where you have churches every other block, how do we have so much violence? How do we have so much corruption? You will think it will be the paradise of earth with all these churches. But you know what happens? The Methodist fights with the Baptists, and the Baptists fight with the Pentecostals, and the Pentecostals fight with the Lutherans, and the Lutherans fight with the Apostolic Church, and the Apostolic Church fights with the Prophetic Church, and then the Prophetic Church fights with the... Man, it's the cycle. You got the Lutheran Church, you got the Catholic Church, you got the Roman Catholic Church, and all these people just want to fight about religion. Instead of coming together and speak the truth, stand for justice. And by the way, making illegal immigrants respect the law of the land, that is part of your duty. If you see them, give them water, feed them, but you got to give them the truth. You got to go back. You got to go back. And if they don't listen, you did your job. But now you got to be tough on them. Go ahead, David. Give me a question. As a matter of fact, hey guys, why don't you do this? Give me a phone call. Give me a call. 425-583-1155. Since I'm rambling here, I want you guys to correct me with your voice and see how easy it is to talk. Go ahead, 425-583-1155. Go ahead. Not everybody at once, guys. Come on. There you go. This ear's for you. Go ahead, 425-583-1155. Give me a call and tell me what I'm rambling about. I want you to educate me. Teach me something that I'm missing. Why doesn't the poor make their own money? It's called being motivated. But Cheryl, as I said earlier before, a lot of these people have no self-respect. They have no self-esteem. They are defeated people that believe that others should take care of their children and their needs. They are entitled, lazy people. If you are disabled, if you are indeed a person that needs that help, what you can do is support those who are fighting for Americans to be taken care of. Stop fighting against us. You're making it harder. America first. 425-583-1155. Go on now. Tyler says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Jesus. Hold on, Junior. I know you always want to call, but I wanna have somebody that says I'm just rambling around here to call me and give me some knowledge. By the way, how are you, bro? I hope you're doing good. Lola James says, crickets. Not you, Colin. If you're still here, don't call. I already know what you think. I want somebody that disagrees with me to call and teach me something. I'm serious. I want to learn something. Lola. The love of money, that's true, is the root of all evil. The key is the love of money. Can money buy happiness? No, but it sure can help. Um, if you're willing to just leave everything behind and follow Christ, if He asks you, and you were willing, number one, He wouldn't leave you broke, by the way. He will bless you even more, probably. But would you be willing to change that? The answer is yes, man. You are bigger than me. Raj says greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. Yes. You should have President Trump on the show. Dude, you know what? That would be amazing, dude. That would be amazing. But nah, I need at least 1 million subscribers. By the time I get 1 million subscribers, he's probably not going to be with us anymore. But it will be funny, though, if he comes over here and he shows to the world, like, Dennis, I want to thank you for doing everything the right way, for respecting our law, for loving our country, for respecting our people and honoring the American people. That will be awesome to hear from the president. I would never, ever forget that if the president told me that. I will tell you this, that even if as I said on my prayer, I mean that. Even when the world hated me or hates me, even when the world just denies me and neglects me and doesn't help me or do anything, God is always there for me, regardless, always there for me. And you know what? I have been very privileged to be able to become an American citizen, because I will tell you something. If I felt so gone here in the United States of America, I am so blessed that I can go to anywhere in the world that I want and maybe start over there. I would definitely move and live in Honduras. I think speaking English is a big advantage. You know, you guys don't know me, but, you know, I've gone anywhere. I've done work as a janitor, construction, landscape, sheetrock, metal framing, taping, roofing. I've done radio. I preached. You know, I was a missionary pastor. Office work, sales, management, etc. I have been through a lot of jobs, and I think every single one of them, even from the manager all the way down to the janitorial job, is worthy of pay and of honor, because it's legit work. Every laborer, remember that. Every person that works, provides a service, deserves to get paid. Okay, so that's where I'm at with that. Jai says Trump's not busy. Yeah, he doesn't do anything, man. He spends the afternoons at the beach and then, oh, wait, that was Biden. Never mind, that was Biden. Tell your dad to release the file. I told Daddy, I said, Daddy, you got to release the files. And he said, okay, son, done. Now it's just a matter of the courts. But we're waiting. We're waiting to see what happens. Let's see. Get Trump on Danny. Release the file. Yes, sir, says Lola. Of course. In due time, guys. In due time. We got more important fish to fry, so to speak. I understand, Cheryl, but it doesn't change that the love of money is the root of all evil. What happened here? What I miss? Cheryl, what happened? Money he has. Well, he worked his ass off for the money he has. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. I mean, is the money worth it if you lose your family to get it? If you believe that losing your family to become rich is worth it, put 1 on the chat. And nobody's going to call. If you think it's worth it to lose your family to become rich, put a 1 on the chat. All right, Junior, go ahead and call me. If you don't think it's worth to lose your family, there you go. Güero got number 2. Yep. And many actors and actresses. Yep. Uh-oh, watch out. Trump's calling. Uh-oh, President Trump. Oh, shoot. The president does. Hey, thanks for calling, President Trump. How are you?
Why, this is the greatest show of all time. You're doing a great job. Everything is great.
Oh, yeah. It's Trump, guy. This is the Mexican Trump.
Puerto Rican Trump.
Oh. No,
Puerto Rican Trump.
Wait, it's Boricua with Dominican, right?
No.
Just Boricua?
Yeah.
Oh.
With Italian, to be exact.
No. You only get to claim one now because you didn't like Dominican. All right, this is the Puerto Rican Trump. He loves this country and loves this show. Woo! Let's go, baby.
So you know what? Just because you started this, we're gonna start this off with a one Ric Flair woo on 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! So here we go. You was hitting on some hard stuff today, man. Like I was listening. Yesterday, my wife called in the middle of a message that I was getting ready to send in. And we had a long talk because she's my wife. She's always gonna be my number 1.
Of course.
So I mean, she comes for my job, for everything except God. All right.
Yeah.
So
it's above all else.
That's right. So, with all that said, I'm going to start this off by saying this. There are some things that you said that I do disagree with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get everything right.
And that's okay. People forget that it's okay to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why open dialogue is so important.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something. So, I moved to the United States from Puerto Rico in 1984.
Yep.
Summer of '84. My grandma lived in the United States. My grandpa was a World War II Navy veteran. They got married when they met during the war, and she moved to the States. During my summer vacations, I used to fly up, spend it with my grandma and grandpa up here. In the summer of '84, I asked if I could stay, and they talked to my mom, and my mom said, sure, give it a shot. And within 6 months of that, my mother moved up.
Coming from Nick.
Now, for those of you that don't know, it's okay for us to do it from Puerto Rico at any given time.
Yeah.
Now,
President Trump.
I'm saying that this way because a lot of people honestly don't know that. You'd be shocked. They look at, we were blessed in Puerto Rico, and they look at that as, like they're shocked about that. It's like, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
So, I remember, the reason I brought that up is because I remember growing up, in Puerto Rico, my dad had a chain of cash and carry warehouses. I think I told you that the first time we spoke. And
You better believe it, Güero.
yeah, and we were fairly well off. I mean, we lived in one of 4 houses. We lived in the beach house.
Dang,
man.
man.
All over Puerto Rico.
Damn.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I kind of liked it.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love that life. I tell you that right now.
There is nothing like waking up, to the tide. So, with that said, when we moved to the States, and when my mom moved to the States, her and my dad divorced. So we went from being very well off to, my mom was disabled.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
She had advanced lupus.
Oh, man.
Plus type 2 insulin-dependent diabetic, which back then was
very, it really messed her up because think about it. For lupus at that time, the treatment was prednisone. Prednisone raises your blood sugar, which messes with her diabetes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so she had to pick her poison. Now the reason I say that's because it was so advanced that my mom could not work. Okay,
Yeah.
And back then, it, my dad living in Puerto Rico, um, it's not like it was court enforced for him to pay child support. Okay,
Yeah.
so but here's the thing: we never went hungry. My dad used to always send boxes of food to us, and he always allowed my mom to have be an authorized signer for his credit cards in case we needed clothes and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this is that we never went without, but there were times that we were struggling. Okay. And in them times, I remember my mother. We lived in my hometown in southern Indiana. We lived in what at that time, and still to this day, is considered the ghetto. Okay,
Yeah.
and a lot of us kids that grew up in that area, we did fairly well for ourselves. All right, living off the system, but I'm saying in our adult lives, we all did much better than what would have been expected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The reason I say that's because I remember my mother. Um, you was talking about what you ate, okay? And I remember my mom would make rice and beans,
Yeah.
and if we had a meat, it was chicken or some bistec.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what that is minute steak, cube
Yeah.
steak. Um, my mom wasn't a Betty Crocker cook by any means, but it was good, okay?
Yeah.
And
My mom
I
was the
remember,
best cook.
right? And because it was made with love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember my mom many a nights, the type of woman that she was. We'd be there eating. Keep in mind what I said. We lived in the ghetto apartments. There were kids growing up that I grew up with that were not eating.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
didn't
Yep.
have meals. We did. There were many nights I watched my mother go without eating to make sure kids from the
Yep.
neighborhood ate.
Yeah. That's my mom.
You know,
Yep.
and that feeling of community. So the reason I'm saying that is because this whole crisis going on with SNAP benefits, food stamps, and this
Yep.
and that. You don't have to if you can, but it helps the community feeling if you can help.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Of course.
um, and when it comes to you was talking about immigration, this is another thing. When you was talking about immigration, I am all for doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Okay, but saying that, I'm also going to call an ace, and that is that our system is broken.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
and not necessarily in the way most people think I'm going to go, because friggin' one of the things that's going on is you should know this having gone through. I don't know what your story was when you was trying to get your papers, but in some areas, like in the area that I live in, I knew a family, and the reason I'm saying it past tense is because I haven't talked to them in years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since my mom passed, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I knew this family. They were the first Mexican family to move in our area. Okay. Which would have meant they would have moved there right around 1986. And they, since 86, they were trying to do things the right way. Now, I don't mean to say that past tense. It's just that I don't know whatever happened to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they applied for for citizenship.
Well, it'll be nice to Cheryl.
You know, they came here on a work visa. They applied for citizenship, and every single time when they get a hearing, they'd end up getting, oh, you got to fill out now this new form, you know,
Yep.
and it's going to cost this much,
Yep.
and it's not.
Yep.
It's been 30 years.
You know why they do that?
It, to get more money out
That's
of
a
it. It's a
props.
racket.
Absolutely. You better believe it.
You know, and because they can, because what are they going to do?
That's right.
Nothing. You know, and that's the thing. While I understand that doing things legally, we need to hold these government officials accountable for doing this racket, profiting off the backs of those who are trying to do it legally,
Yeah.
where the only other option is to do it illegally and if they get caught, they get caught. But at least they're saving that money. So I can understand both sides, even though I don't condone the way doing it illegally.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but some of them families, I'm not saying all, because to say all would mean that I'm making up an excuse for them. But some of them families are literally victims of their own circumstance.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a sad thing to see.
Well, here's one thing that you're probably not looking into, but here's the problem where I am against illegal immigration. Now you're gonna call me biased or maybe hypocritical, but here's the problem when you allow or you think that maybe there is a reason or an excuse to say illegal immigrants, it's okay. It's the outcome that the only reason why these people decided to sacrifice their lives to come across a very almost deadly path for children and women to be going through, you know what? It's that the government opened up the border and gave this false hope to people that were already, even if they were struggling, but they were working, they were getting through. I mean, if you're poor, you're poor. That's how it is. And you notice that all these people, a lot of homeless has been multiplied. I have never before seen Hispanics begging on the street. Now you see them everywhere. You know, it used to be, oh no, we're too proud. We don't do that. We don't beg. Well, now you got Mexicans sitting out there with their children, and I see, let's not say Mexicans, but I see more Middle Eastern people. I don't know if they're Indian or, you know, I don't know who these people are, but they look from the other side of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And they're sitting out there with their, like for example, here I seen this lady, you know, she covers her head or whatever, and then she has two little girls with her, and they're collaring and stuff, and she doesn't look like she's suffering anything in life. She looks too fat, to be honest, you know. And then there they are begging for money, and these people are probably already on food stamps as it is. They're already getting assistance, I'm sure, you know. And so you cannot allow to say, well, you know, if you had the right story, you can be here. It doesn't work that way. I think that if you were not here for my life, but I was listening to this video because in Mexico they're deporting people, right? And what they were saying is like, you know, they told us, and we're like, who? They told us that there was a room for us to come here and that they were going to give us money to continue, but now they stopped that. And guess when they stopped that? When the government shut down.
Yeah.
So somebody on this side of the border was providing money to help these people come over here. And then when we stopped, or whoever was on this side stopped, right? Then the Mexican government also stopped paying them to continue moving forward. And you see a lot of paralegals and lawyers, people that are in the system with immigration help. They are making their money of the lies that these illegal immigrants will become citizens of this country.
And you know, one other thing that I was going to bring up, you know, we're sitting there, you know, all this outrage over DI stuff, you know, but did they forget? You know, they're sitting there with all this outrage. Trump is separating families, and did they forget you know, when Obama had kids in cage, like chicken coops.
Yeah, well, they blame Trump for that one too.
Yeah, but they forget that that was Obama.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like, you know, if you're not,
I,
it's
I was a
okay to
Democrat then,
accuse
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I supported them. I supported Obama. I told all my friends, I was like, Obama's going to win, dude. Don't even look. He's going to win. 100%.
Yeah.
We had all the Mexicans, all the Salvadorians in California. We were endorsing Obama. Immigration reform. Oh, all document holders are going to be now residents. And that didn't happen. Worse shit. We got 3 million Hispanics that deported, bro. 3 million. Over
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
At some point, I thought it was 8, but I guess I must have made the number up. But I heard lately that it's 3 something.
You know, well, that's the thing also, is I've noticed that too. A lot of stats have been changed. Like it's hard to find
Brian.
the actual stats from back then, you know, anymore. It's been wiped out. You know, they like whenever they wanted to push the issue when Obama was running for president, you know, that he was going to be tough on immigration, and even though he was pro-reform, he was going to also be tough on immigration. They didn't mind throwing them numbers out, but when it didn't benefit the narrative, boy, them numbers changed real quick.
Yeah.
By the way, I was talking to a couple of my military buddies about you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of shit you tell them?
I told him, I said, man, you got to listen to this crazy SOB right here.
Yeah.
But,
let's go, baby.
No, man. We're all ready for it, man. I said, yeah. I told them we'd I go over and watch it, and they're like, man, if you're going, I want to go. I said, it's a party.
Hell yeah, let's go. Dude, I'm gonna have soldier patriots on my side, bro. Dang. We're gonna move some mountains. I tell you that, man. We're gonna move some mountains, my friend. We'll see, man. God's will, you know. If it doesn't happen, yeah, you know, we got to give it a try at least. But
right.
yeah, I'm not gonna back down from that. All right, let me go ahead and play one more video, and this is from your favorite news station, CNN. Let's see what they say. Thanks for the call, brother.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. All right, since nobody had the guts to call me, Junior called in and gave us a good story. And guys, I appreciate that. He doesn't agree with everything I say, of course. You know, what I'm sharing is just my opinion. If it helps, great. If it doesn't, you know, you take it with a grain of salt, so to speak. All right. Let's see what she has to say about President Donald Trump. You know, they're always saying nice things.
Trump endorsing Andrew Cuomo in the New York City mayor's race, just posting on social media this. He says, whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. Well, out front now, Zoran Mamdani, the candidate for New York City mayor. And so President Trump making it very clear here, there's no beating around the bush here. You really have no choice. You must vote for him, Andrew Cuomo. What do you say to that?
Look, this is something that we've been speaking about for months. We've known since the primary that Andrew Cuomo was funded by the same billionaires that gave us Donald Trump's second term. He denied that then. He had a phone call with President Trump trying to coordinate to stop our campaign. He then denied that. And even just until these final days, he denied that he was Donald Trump's preferred candidate. But now it's written out for the entire world to see. This is the man that Donald Trump wants to be the next mayor of New York City. And not because he'll be good for New Yorkers, but because he'll be good for Donald Trump. And New Yorkers are exhausted of this agenda in Washington. They don't want to see a mimic of it come here to City Hall.
Wait a minute. I want to correct them. It's not for the good of Donald Trump. It's for the good of the American people, especially New Yorkers. Not Trump, New Yorkers.
Do you think it will help Cuomo at all in the polls? I guess specifically if you assume that Trump's trying to talk to that 15% of people who say they're going to vote for Curtis Sliwa.
You know, we continue to be confident about what tomorrow will look like for us, but I do think New Yorkers must understand that Andrew Cuomo waited until the final day before the election to have this be revealed. He wanted to be able to make the message to Democrats that he was in fact the governor that he said he was, and then right at the last moment, the last opportunity to fully embrace the MAGA movement that we have long said he is tied to.
So Trump also, so he endorses Cuomo, okay? Then he also talked about you, referring to you as a communist. I believe last time we talked.
The money that he was giving, I don't think it was that big of a deal. It was like it was in the thousands, not millions. I think it was like less than 16,000 or something like that. So I wouldn't say not too much about that. That's nothing. Pocket change for these rich mules. But the fact that he said that Cuomo waited for the last. By the way, guys, this was posted like 40 minutes ago. So I've been on here for 3 hours. You and I are listening to this together, okay? So he said that Cuomo waited for the last moment to come out and say blah, 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 all of this, right? But really what he's trying to cover is all the videos that have come up about him just contradicting everything that he's been saying throughout his campaign. And so he's lost a lot of support. I'm going to tell you right now, I would be very, very, very surprised if he didn't win, but I think there's a chance that he's going to lose. Polls don't mean jack squat. What matters is people voting. Actual votes is what wins elections. And I hope that they're really paying attention to these machines. Anaid, Puerto Rican for Trump. Let's go. Oh, Anaid, J.R. Vasquez is also Puerto Rican. Let's go, baby. Let's make a wave over here. Can we get like a small wave, red wave over here in Washington State? I think we can at least make a splash. Let's see what happens next year.
I don't know how many times I had of him calling you a communist. That's not new. But he said, if communist candidate Zohran Mamdani wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. Okay, what do you think that means? Other than very minimum as required, could be an important clause, I suppose, in that sentence. But if he says unlikely he's going to contribute federal funds, I mean, what happens then? What will you do if that's how he goes?
Well, I think you can clearly see that Donald Trump is threatened by our campaign. He's threatened by it because, like his, we've diagnosed the crisis in working class New Yorkers' lives, the cost of living. But unlike him, we're actually going to deliver on that. And that is a contrast that he can't bear to see. Because while he is spending $300 million remodeling a White House ballroom, the same amount of money that could provide SNAP benefits for 100,000 New Yorkers, he's trying to make it harder for Americans across the country to actually afford groceries. And this money that we're talking about, it's money that New York City is owed. It's not Donald Trump's to decide which city or state will get what money. This is the money that New Yorkers are owed, and this is the money that we're going to fight for.
Okay, so Trump is not the only one talking about you tonight. Elon Musk is actually talking about you.
What a pair.
And obviously Musk had supported him, was crucial to his election victory. They had their falling out, but
big ones.
They're back together again. Elon posts about you. Remember to vote tomorrow in New York. Bear in mind that a vote for Curtis, referring to Curtis Sliwa, whom I just mentioned, is really a vote for Mum Dummy, or whatever his name is. Vote Cuomo. All right. Why do you think he's speaking out against you? And obviously the personal insult is in there as well, Mum Dummy.
Look, I think this is one of the more expensive endorsements that Andrew Cuomo has ever gotten because it took $959 million in tax breaks that he gave Elon Musk for Elon Musk's pet projects back when Cuomo was the governor. And we're seeing the two twin architects of this second term of Donald Trump's presidency in the president himself and Elon Musk saying clearly to New Yorkers that their candidate is Andrew Cuomo. And they've picked Andrew Cuomo because they know that he will be the puppet that they want right here in New York City. And he's...
That is not the reason why they pick Cuomo, because Cuomo's not President Trump's puppet. But he knows that this guy is a communist. Now, he used to call himself a communist before, and then he switched it to socialist. And he's been changing his story every single time he gets crucified by what he's been saying against what we believe in. What I don't understand is why I believe that 13 or 14% of the population in New York is Muslims, and is the exact same percentage of Jews. why would Jews support this guy is beyond me. It's got to be money. Let me just say, it was a Jew that betrayed Jesus Christ, and it was the Jews that wanted him crucified. Now, it was the Romans that did it physically, but they forced them to do it. I don't know what the hell they're thinking about doing here in New York, but this guy is going to join the rest of the Muslims that are trying to bring Sharia law in here. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of the people that I saw supporting him on his campaign is a lot of homeless looking people. I kid you not. So I know a lot of poor people are very desperate, just like the illegal immigrants that come over here, and they will give everything in their life to be able to come to this country, but they don't realize the harm that they're causing by doing that. You see, everybody that wants free stuff, they think free stuff just means it's free. No, somebody has to pay for it. And like I said before to David when he was here, it's like you want livable wages, but what happens when the business owner is going out of business? Because you wanted your livable wages, well, now that business just went out of money, out of business. Now you got no job, and you ruin a family's future. You ruin people's lives. Instead, go against your governor, go against the senator, go against the mayors, go against the local government and ask them why the hell did they keep raising taxes when they had more than enough to run your state, your city, your counties with the money that you guys already paid taxes with. Ask them why they can't track money for NGOs. Why are they getting rich on a salary that does not make them rich within a year?
Showing himself to not just be that, but also to be their parrot in the language that he's using to close out this election.
Okay. You talk about billionaires, and there have been some really wealthy individuals who have come out and put money in PACs against you in recent days, right? Former Mayor Michael Bloomberg among them. There are plenty of other business leaders who, in private, are afraid. They have concern. Yep. There are very few who actually will talk about it publicly, but one of them is Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, and I'm thinking about this in light of Trump calling you a communist. Jamie Dimon did not call you a communist. He was more intellectual about it. He said, what does he really think? You know, he was part of that socialist democratic thing, which literally is more Marxist than socialist. And I read it, but I don't know what he believes in that. All right, so I guess he's basically saying he's not really sure where you stand on things. But what do you say to that concern? Is Marxist something you're comfortable with?
No, I'm a democratic socialist, and I've said it time and again. When was that quote from Jamie Dimon?
From Jamie Dimon. It was from Fortune last week.
Okay.
A Fortune conference last week.
Because what he's also come out and said in public is that in our success, this is something that business leaders would also hope for the success of the city. And I put that forward to say that despite where New Yorkers may stand on my candidacy, whatever qualms they may have, they know that I'm actually being honest with them about my ideas, about who I'm looking to fight for. And that's sadly unique in this race. Because what you have is someone in Andrew Cuomo who spent the entirety of a primary campaign on the premise that he was the best suited to take on Donald Trump. And here we are with the chyron that Donald Trump is endorsing Andrew Cuomo.
So let me ask you, because that was October 17th, so it was actually a week and a half ago. But I want to ask you, because you asked me when he said that. Are you talking to him? Are people like that people that you're going to sit down with and eagerly work with, or not?
Look, I'll have conversations with anyone. And I've spoken to Jamie Dimon briefly, and I've spoken to a number of other business leaders across the city about...
Joey, what the hell are you talking about? You forget about the $19 trillion that he made in agreements that they will be investing money here in the country? You forget about the manufacturers that are coming back to the United States because of those tariffs that he's over there dealing with? You forget about all the stuff that he's doing throughout the world. Right now, your little peasy mind doesn't get this, but he has been making deals for rare earth mineral capabilities that we're going to have in this country, because China keeps threatening us, and not just us, but the world. Now we have deals with South America, somewhere in the Middle East, and we are making all the things that we need to do to secure our future. You don't know shit about the economy, and you don't do anything to help this country. So how dare you sit there and have even an opinion on what President Donald Trump is doing? What have you done for this country? Think about that before you say something stupid.
my proposals. I know that there are disagreements around my fiscal policy, that I think we should raise income taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year by 2%, or the fact that I think corporations' top tax rate should be matching what they pay in New Jersey. And still, there is room for an immense amount of agreement on what it means to bring the city forward, and I'll always leave that door open.
So, okay. So let me just ask you about President Obama. I know that you had a conversation with him. What was that?
Listen, I know the tactics from Nancy Pelosi and all the fake Democrats that we have in office, okay? She said it herself on her interview, and I'm glad that she's still in the mix, because she's getting older and she's letting shit slip out. They make up a bunch of lies about Trump. A little smear, she says. It's a tactics in politics, she says. We make a little smear, and then we tell the journalist the story. The journalists, they print that story, and then people read it. And then we do a press conference. And then we mention that little smear, and now we have a fact created by the legacy media. This is Nancy Pelosi's mouth, giving her little smear, just a small tactic amongst politics. You know what? I don't buy that shit. Most of you guys probably buy that on your left side. My patrons on here, they don't buy it. We know better. We see what we see, and we judge what we judge with common sense. We don't hate people, but we do call out the bad stuff that they are doing. Right now, you guys have not supported, not one day have you supported President Donald Trump, and you have been reacting 100% on the fear-mongering little smear from Nancy Pelosi and the goons and the Democrats, fake Democratic Party. You don't think for yourself. Think for yourself. China says during COVID, we got control of the world now. We provide everything. We make everything that they need. And guess what? We said, hell no. We have sat by idle for too long, and now we're going to have to start speaking about it. We will not forget. You see this communist right here. 9/11, New York says we will not forget. And the whole country said that. We will not forget. And now you got a communist Muslim that is about to become a mayor in New York. Tell me, did you forget? Did you forget all the thousands of people that died, 2,870 people that died? And he was concerned because somebody couldn't wear the hijab on. Shut the hell up with that. Man, stand up for your country. We're not telling you to go love President Trump. Love your country. Look what's happened. Forget about the orange Cheeto guy. Look what's happened to your country. These mofos are giving your country away to illegals, to foreigners. Minnesota is doomed. Ilhan Omar goes on live TV and praises the Somali president. And I'm his girl. And Somali is my people, not the United States of America. That Omar Jack, not you, Omar Slane, if you're still here, but the other Minnesota guy, Omar, he's the same thing. It's the same thing. You guys are not standing up for your people. I'm not telling you to love President Trump. Don't even love me. I don't need your love. I got God's love, thank you very much, and my family's. I don't need you to like me. But you need to stand up for your country. I hope that in some way I can do something to give back to the people for the privilege that I have earned to become an American citizen. You cannot say never forget and put this guy on a pedestal in a position for him to win. I have seen liars, and I know how to tell liars. And this guy right here is 100% a liar. He's a fake. He's a fraud. 100%. He's a fraud. All politicians, at some point may give in to temptation and lie about somebody, lie about themselves. But in the end, I have found a lot of Democrats, especially those with fake valor, that says, oh, I did this in Vietnam and never went there. Oh, I was this position when I was serving and never had that position. Oh, I got the medal of this and never got the medal. They use your gullible little minds to convince you they are heroes. But you don't have to just listen to them. Watch what they do, and then you really can see through them. Thank you, 98. Love you too, brother. Oh, who got blocked? Somebody got blocked and reported? Damn. What I missed? Somebody threatened my life again? Let's say Adrian Clinton, Adrian. Because I love my country, I want Israel's influence out, Trump's admin out, reform across our entire government. And what the hell has your people done for this country? Enlighten me. Go on. Enlighten me. Tell me what your people have done. Yeah, well, you know, they say we're a democratic republic. No, we're not. We're a constitutional republic. Now, we have a democracy, but we're not a democratic republic. That's not how it works. This guy's got it twisted. They keep saying that President Donald Trump is breaking the law. They are the ones breaking the law. Hey, did you know out of 29 states that got a letter saying that ICE is coming, only the blue ones went and sued back? And where'd they get that money? Oh, that's right. The taxpayers of that state. Us. They take our taxes and then they go and sue the president on their little adventure tantrum that they have. Go on, Adrian. What are you talking about? No, you said that he hasn't done anything. You said you want President Trump and the administration out of here. I want to hear some wisdom coming from you. No, don't insult me. Give me something that you and your people have done to help our country. Tell me, what did you do to dismantle the nuclear weapon facility in Iran? Tell me what your people did. Tell me how you have given so much into this economy. Tell me how you put Americans first. What have you defended? What do you stand for? No, he doesn't have shit for an answer. I know that. Go on. I'll give you one. We closed the border. We secured the border. Now you go. Yeah, it's like a 10-second delay, I guess. What did you think about it? We're going to finish the video. It's almost done.
Conversation about your most recent one.
I appreciated the conversation with President Obama, and we spoke about both
the New York Post headline is that he's not endorsing you.
Yeah, well, the New York Post has a lot of fun with their headlines, to put it lightly. It was a conversation where we were speaking about the importance of hope in politics, the delivery of that kind of an agenda, and I also shared with him that the remarks that I had shared outside of a mosque in the Bronx not too long ago was inspired in part by his remarks on race of a more perfect union many years ago. And I think there is often a tendency in our politics to think solely in a 24-hour news cycle. And
that's still nothing. Insult is not an answer. Man, they're right. You are brain dead. You are clueless. You don't even know what the hell Israel has done for us. Shut the hell up if you don't know what Israel has done for us.
Need to sometimes step back and speak to the soul of a city and not just the cycle of that city.
Do you think that he, and he's never endorsed a mayoral candidate, so that's why I'm making the point. Of course, he wasn't going to endorse. But do you feel that he has your back? That because there are plenty in the Democratic Party who are scared of you too, and they don't know whether you're going to succeed or if they're going to sit back and watch. Do you think he's someone who's going to be in there, in it with you?
Well, I appreciated the president offering to be a sounding board, and that's exactly what we see as what the future of these next few weeks and months look like. It looks like speaking to those who've been in these very kinds of positions.
No, you haven't done shit at all. Nothing. Zilch. Zero. Nada. You haven't done jack squat but get on the way of success. You have done nothing but to become an obstacle on a race against the world that we are trying to win. You are the obstacle that's keeping us behind. Your Democratic Party right now proves to us how useless they are. They don't care to hold the whole American people that are depending on benefits. They don't care to hold them hostage so that they can get their money. But let's make no mistake about it. That money that they want is not to help people. There's a lot of NGOs that get money, and I can guarantee you there's no tracing it. They want that money. F those guys. They don't get shit. We use democracy to get the big, beautiful bill to go through. And now they shut the government down because of people like you. And as a matter of fact, you are included in the people that they don't give a shit about. And here you are, is still coming up to their defense, is still spewing their stupid ideas and their lies, which of course is just a smear, like Nancy Pelosi says, a political tactic to get under your opponent's skin. Go on. Number 2, 70,000 monks said that President Donald Trump should have the Nobel Peace Prize. He destroyed the Iranian nuclear facility. All right, you go. Give me one thing. You haven't done shit but get in the way. You have no common sense. That's how I know that you're a moron. You call me names, but that's exactly what you are.
And putting together a team that reflects the best and the brightest that this city and this country has to offer, and then delivering on this agenda. And that's what actually terrifies Donald Trump and Elon Musk and even Andrew Cuomo the most. It's their fear that we will, in fact, accomplish the things that we have campaigned on. And that's one place where they're actually right.
All right, Zoran Mamdani, thank you very much. Obviously, we're hours away.
Yes.
Hours away here. Are you ready? Do you expect it's going to be a big night for you?
I'm hopeful. I'm confident, but I'll never be complacent. But look, if people want to vote for Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they should vote for Andrew Cuomo. If people want to vote for change, they should vote for me.
All right, Zoran.
Yeah, no. If you want to vote for losers, vote for him. That's what I think. Let me guess. If you were in New York, you'd be voting for that moron right now, huh, Adrian? Oh, man. Caleb, couldn't you argue Republicans are doing the same thing by refusing to use the money saved up? Let me see, guys. Who the hell paid the military last time? What does Chuck Schumer say? Oh, President Trump can use our reserve money to pay for the SNAP benefits, even for those who don't deserve it or don't qualify. You want to use reserve money because you wasted the money that was budgeted to support this without lacking. You morons gave it to illegal immigrants, and you wonder why there's no money. Just go ask the mayor in Chicago. That dumb mofo has no money. Ask him why. And if you ask the people from Chicago, they will tell you, they haven't given me no free rent. They haven't given me no money to feed my children. Why I gotta work? I'm an American. These illegal immigrants, they got it better than we do. Why would they say that? Because your party are full of idiots. I'll just say, listen, we let the digital pen dictate for the last 4 years. The least that you can do, we don't need your help. Just get the hell out the way. That's all you got to do. We don't need your help. We will take care of your sorry ass. We don't need you. We got plenty of patriots, plenty of successful people paying taxes. You will still get your shit, but we got to clean up this whole country from illegal immigrants. And that's a fact. Oh, Adrian, I want to hear what your people have done. You say you haven't done nothing. You haven't done much. You haven't done anything. Guess what the money to Argentina does? We get an investment and we get a return. That's what that means. We're about to get $1 trillion from Venezuela, and you don't even know shit. And in the meantime, we're going to get rid of a drug lord, and I think Colombia is going to have to pay for something because they're looking pretty guilty right now, and so does Bolivia. But we're not talking about them today. That's right. Now, go ahead. Oh, let me see. Oh, man, here we go. John Kennedy. Of course, I got to listen to John Kennedy. 3 hours ago. Here we go. John Kennedy. Love this old man.
I'm still in mourning for the barred owls.
Sorry to hear that. You had said before that the shutdown would go past Thanksgiving. Do you still feel that way?
I don't know. I mean, here, I just walked the Senate floor. There are all kind of rumors. You know how senators are. They think they can command the tides. I don't know if the Democrats are ready. They've got a big conference meeting tomorrow. I do know this, and I say this with respect. They won't get what they've asked for. They want us to agree to an automatic extension on the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, and the premiums are coming out, as you know, and I think any fair-minded person.
Give me a second, Senator. Give me a second. Here's option A. Self-deport. Take your children with you. Free plane ticket all the way to your country and $1,000 once you land there. Who's separating families? And that's not something that you've done. I want to hear something that you've done. Number 3, he stopped 8 wars. Go.
And look at these premium increases, subsidies or no subsidies, and conclude that the Obamacare exchanges just aren't working. They were supposed to reduce the cost of health insurance, and instead they're going up, premiums going up 6 to 8%.
Let's not forget why we wanted the big, beautiful bill to pass. 47% that we're going to raise your taxes, you sorry ass.
So if you just unconditionally extend the Obamacare exchanges with the subsidies, all you're doing is putting paint on rotten wood. I think the Democrats are right to raise the issue of health care. And if they vote to open up.
You got all this negative thing to say about President Trump, and not one thing that you guys have accomplished for the well-being of the American people. But you got tons to say against President Trump. Why is that? Do some soul searching, bro. Do some soul searching. And when you find yourself, I'm not going to hate you. I'm going to be here with open arms, my friend. But you got to search that soul. Find the truth. You can do it.
The government, I think Republicans and President Trump would be willing to sit down with them and see if we can't design a health care delivery system that looks like somebody designed the damn thing on purpose. But it's not going to happen as long as they have government shut down. There's a movement on the Senate floor to try to get Democrats' agreement to open it up in exchange for us passing 3 of the approach bills. I don't know if that'll work or not. It's got nothing to do with health insurance.
Yeah, they want something on health care. So you're saying they wouldn't get anything.
You can agree on approach bills, but that still doesn't solve the health insurance problem. The other problem with going the approach route is that you got to make sure that the president blesses those appropriations bills, and if you've made any changes in them, you've got to talk to the rest of the Senate about it, and you've got to talk to the House. I'm happy to see them make the effort, but the whole time that my colleagues and I have been part of the discussions, have been talking about the approach bill.
My friend, if they hated Palestinians, there will be not one of them alive today. And then what you going to say? Nothing. Be grateful. Be happy if you love them so much that it was Israel who they attacked. If it would have been somebody else, they would have been destroyed completely. There will be not even a piece of cloth from their tribe in this earth. You better be thankful that Israel is merciful. And you should put the blame where it goes, on Hamas. Why is wrong with these people? Why is your mind so narrow-minded? Why are you always supporting the negative and not the positive. Israel can defeat 100%, nothing, not one rubble on turn. They can just literally wipe them out completely, something that the Palestinians cannot do, something that Hamas cannot do against Israel. Israel chooses not to. They choose not to. And they would be in the right place if they did it. And we would help them.
I've been scratching my head and saying, maybe I'm missing something. But this has nothing to do with health care. And that's what my Democratic colleagues have harped on. So the president's position is pretty clear. I think if it were up to him, he just said we'll sit in a shutdown, and when you guys open it up and gals open it up, I'll refer to the
I have a great one. May you have a great night as well, sir.
president. I'll be pleased to sit down and negotiate reform of health care.
Senator, tomorrow will be day 35. It's the record, right, for a shutdown is 35 days. So at this point, how long can you possibly expect these federal workers to keep going, keep working without a paycheck? If they've already done it for 35 days, and as you said, the president will probably just have them sit in a shutdown until Democrats come to the table and open it up.
Well, I feel badly for the federal workers. I feel badly for my employees. I know how they feel. I'm not getting paid. But it hurts them more than it hurts me because I've saved a little money. I feel bad for the air traffic controllers. I feel bad for everybody, but I don't know what else to do. I voted 13 times to open up government. Tomorrow it's going to be 14. My Democratic colleagues have voted 14 times.
You hear that? 13 times, 14 tomorrow. 14 times we voted to open the government. When the Democrats lie to you and tell you that it's the Republicans that want the government shut down, it's a lie. They're holding you hostage to get leverage on President Trump. They hate this man so bad that they can't think straight. It's like Trump is their nightmare and they got to do everything. It doesn't matter how many people die. It doesn't matter how many people suffer. They got to do everything to stop Trump. It is ridiculous. They're the ones that preach about democracy. They're the ones that are destroying democracy. They preach about Trump breaking the law. They're the ones breaking the law. They're breaking federal law every single day. Do they get punished for it? No. I think Republicans are being too nice to them. I wish President Donald Trump can have the balls to say, you know what? I'm not going to go after Obama. But I am certainly going to go after all of these guys that went against me. Because if they lied about me, because if they went after me knowing that they were lying, I want them held accountable for, and I don't give a shit what CNN says about he's weaponizing the government. Shut the hell up because you didn't say nothing when they actually weaponized the government against Trump.
Keep it shut down. Now, I think the administration is doing all it can to try to keep people getting paid, paying our military, getting some money to the states for SNAP benefits. I don't want to see anybody go hungry in America. But I honestly don't know what else to do except keep voting yes and hope my Democratic colleagues at some point will vote no. Another school of thought that some people are talking about on the Senate floor is that, if the Democrats have a good night in the state elections, that they can somehow declare victory. My attitude is, whatever makes your boat float. If you want to declare victory somehow on the basis of a result.
He said it, but they're making him look like he's the bad guy. That's what I said. I wish he had the balls to just stand up and say it again and make sure that they know that he is coming. And so what? They call him a tyrant and authoritarian. They already mentioned that he is a king and he thinks he's a king and that's why he's not doing it. But I say let him put the way of the law and all these lying bastards that are destroying the United States of America. Americans deserve better. $38 trillion in debt, and Trump is guilty for all $38 trillion of that. Biden got over $4.3 trillion during his presidency because of President Donald Trump's tariffs. Now what? Democrats like to say that they are the ones that have made peace and stopped 8 wars. 8 wars. Democrats said Biden did that. Sure. Biden told Russia to invade Ukraine. Biden gave a $196 billion agreement to Ukraine so they can defend themselves. And how many millions did Ukraine give Hunter Biden? Let's not forget the laptop that they destroyed and that they pretend that never existed. Let's not forget about the fake digital pardons that they were given to all the people committee from January 6th, all the police and everybody that was involved putting Americans live in prison because they hate President Trump, because they didn't want him to run for president again. Let's not forget who did that. Let's not forget that Democrats have wasted hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars because of their stupid agenda. How many taxpayer dollars have they used in court to try to bring President Donald Trump and put him in jail? It didn't work. It was all fake. Now what? You got nothing. You got nothing. You got 3 more years and 2 months of suffering left. Deal with it. Matter of fact, do something for yourself, will you? Go get a job. Pay your taxes like a good boy. Eat some good steaks. Have a good life. Relax. Leave the country for 3 years and come back. If you guys win ever again, I doubt it. You guys have screwed this country so bad. Many people talk to me and they tell me they used to be embarrassed of how weak this country and useless we seen to the world. Nobody respected us. Chinese president and all his leader, his whole cabinet laughing at crazy Biden walking around pooping in his pants. And what do Democrats say about Trump? Oh, poopy diaper Trump. That's what their president did. Their president used to get lost trying to find a way in and out of the stage. President Trump goes without sleep making deals left and right. The press is complaining that they haven't got enough sleep. The press is suffering, and President Trump keeps bouncing back. Every day he has gone on tour, Democrats say he's over there on vacation. And when he comes back, the Congo got peace. No more machete deaths. People think that he's got to go over there and throw missiles and do this. No, it's called diplomacy. It's called tariffs. It's called strong-arming somebody into peace. Peace through strength. This is why we support it. Now we got real men fighting in the military. We got real women fighting in the military next to man. America has honor back. They try to hold back. They try to hold back. If you remember, when they were threatening to take away the tariffs, if you didn't pay attention, listen to it right now. The Democrats threatened, and I'm talking about the judges as well, the sellouts. They threatened to get those tariff powers off of the president. And what happened? India, after kissing our ass, India, China, North Korea, and Russia celebrating, doing the Russian dance. They said about all these things that happened in World War II, didn't even get to mention the United States of America. You loser Democrats are guilty of this country going down the drain. And we are glad that President Trump is in office and that we have enough patriots that stand up for this country. You losers are not going to win. You got no guts. You got no brains. All you know is violence and stupid insults. I give you insults, but I got facts. We got receipts. You don't got shit but insults. And shit for brains, apparently. You're ungrateful, entitled, fake Americans. Disgrace of veterans that after fighting for the people, now you hate this country. You are disgrace. All that honor that you may have accumulated, you just erased it and got rid of it with your elbow. I give thanks and I honor the veterans that are still patriots to this country, no matter what. My hat's off. My respect. My respect. Let's see. Rock. Oh, you're Antifa, huh? We got a Trentifia in here? These guys. This is what they use. They just use insults. But, hey, I'll tell you what. Give me insults, but give me facts, will you? Just give me facts. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. Let's see. Here we go. Maybe Caleb is very smart. Here we go. Caleb, Rush says, Caleb has geese as a Air Force. What? I don't know what you say there, Rush. Caleb says, those must be some super minor injuries. Laugh out loud, because a lot of people would be dying in the streets if that was true. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I missed it. My bad. CS specialists in Canada are what? What did you say, Jolis? CS specialists in Canada are excessive at 11 weeks, 75 percentile of the 25 week. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. Caleb says, at Rush, babe, unlike you, I don't believe in killing people. It's actually unchristian. Is that right, Caleb? Is that right? Yeah. So how do you feel about Israel dying? How do you feel about children of Israel dying? You stand against that as well? You hypocrite. You're a fake Christian, dude. Caleb says, Brian, then why do people from foreign countries, even leaders, come here for treatments? Huh. Well, don't we know that? Thank you, 98. I know Jesus loves me. Your math ain't mathing, Dennis. That's not a word, bro. Just so you know. And I'm an immigrant, and you don't know that that's not a word. Right, guys? I think that's not a word. I don't give a shit. Rock says, you are a valiant and courageous man that loves this country. Thank you, Rock. You rock. Caleb says that Brian Reedy because money buys superior treatment. And where do they go get it? Superior treatment? Oh, man, I love it. That math is real, says John is wrath. There you go, Mr. Lucky. I guess the math is mathing. Point the finger always at others and never ourselves. That's what this streamer does, and others. Wow. Wow. I say love, honor, and respect the American people and this country. And that's what fake Scarface says about me. Sure. You lost all credibility right there. Why? Because you got no brains. It's okay, you know, I understand. There's a lot of retards out there, my friend. I get it. I know. There is a lot of them. You know, but the actual retards become genius when people like you open your mouth. So I guess I won't be calling those, you know, slow people retards because you guys make them look like geniuses. This stream is approval by Donald J. Trump, says the boss. Thank you, boss. I appreciate that. Defending your loved ones isn't murder. That is correct. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I thought I was alone on that. Yeah. You know, every time that Israel attacks them is because they are attacking their people as well. But nobody says anything about that. I find that very interesting. Robert says, thanks for speaking the truth. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate the support. Let's see. I'm a Mennonite. We believe in absolute pacifism. If this country was full of you, you would be shit in the toilet right now. If it wasn't for people like us, yeah, you get to be pacifist because we do all the heavy lifting. We know that. Let's see. 65,000 Americans die every year because they can't afford health care. There's your fact. New profile. I'm glad you have a new profile. Good for you. Why don't you help Donald Trump do his health care plan like he says? And if he fails, then talk shit. But until then, stop fear-mongering people and let him do the job. It's very simple. Let him work. You guys go on your rampant, crazy-ass emotions because of fear-mongering. Let him do the work. Let the process work itself out. You are not doing shit for this country if you don't let the process work out. Let me be on your side when he fails. Let me be on your side when they fail, but doggone it, let them do their job and get the hell out the way. Oh yeah, guys, I know that they're not going to want me to be governor here in Washington. You know why? Because I'm going to support the president. That's why. Thank you, Jay. We'll give it a try anyways. I don't care. I've seen worse people become governors and they don't do shit for the people. Yeah, Claus says Trump will never fail. Exactly, Claus, and that's why I got the balls to say it. Because I know he won't. All right, the Wrath says the same educational standards that you defend for the Department of Lack of Education, promoting every child left behind, and Common Corp's lack of educational system. Right? Yes, America ranks about 20th in the world for educational standards, despite the $280 billion constantly spent on the Department of Lack of Education. I agree, and I mentioned that earlier. 100%, Wrath. Can't let demons take over your rights, and amen to that. 22nd in the world, also Skynet is illiterate. Why don't you show the fake tears, Dennis? Pound that table, says Rock. My tears are never fake, by the way. But there's one thing that we try to do as real men, and sometimes we have to play it off. Talking about fake tears, go support your Mandami guy. That's the guy you guys support. Guys, in the words on the words of the wise Senator Kennedy, which you see him standing there, just sad for the people. They keep voting yes to open. Democrats keep saying no to open the government, and yet they say Republicans don't want to open the government. That is the shitbrains that you guys have in your head. But go look at the voting results and see who's voting to keeping it shut. There is your answer. With that being said, the wise Senator Kennedy says, life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. And with that, guys, I want to say thank you, guys. I love you, my patrons, and all the people that give me support. God bless you guys, man. We have a bad mouth, and, maybe in heaven we'll never curse again. But some people need to get a spanking once in a while. And so I hope that something good happens. I want to thank you for your likes, for the subscribes. We are almost at 10,000 subscribers, and I think that's a really big milestone. After 3 months of this child being born for us, we're going to keep pushing. Tomorrow morning, we got to get up early, and we got to cover, the speech from the Republicans in the morning about it's going to be day 35 now. I think they said they posted 33 today, so I posted 33 on my announcement, but I guess it's 35 tomorrow, or if you're on the East Coast, it's already today. Guys, thank you so much again for your support. Let's make America great again. We can do it. And all I ask from Democrats and socialists and all these other morons, just stay out of the way. We are proving that we don't need you to make this country great. And don't worry, you'll get your food stamps. You'll get your benefits. But we love America, and we want every American to be taken care of. Joe, God bless real American citizens. Man, God bless you, brother. I appreciate that. That's true, my friend. That is true. Yep. Have a good night, guys. Be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. All right. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. I appreciate it. And let's see, with that being said, you all have a good night. Peace out.